Hey, I just noticed that Davina is actually watching on Rumble, so that's pretty awesome. I was like,
Oh, hey, Rumble.
there's a Rumble symbol. It's like there's Rumble. It's
We
cool.
we we have we have a Rumble. I
I mean,
always forget that we have that.
I do always set it to simul stream to Rumble. We've got like 25 subs over there, so that's cool.
Rumble, young Nvidia Rumble.
Rumble, young man, Rumble. That was Will Smith should have got the Oscar for that movie and
Yeah.
not for King Richard, which was just
And
yeah.
Putin's cat was sent here against his will. Okay, I'm cool with that.
Culture Raid. Thank you for coming from Culture Show. Hopefully you'll enjoy and stick around. We've
And
got
hopefully you didn't bring culture with you.
Culture's allowed on the show. If
You
Culture
know you're
could
his
ever
friend, right, man?
Culture, if Culture could ever remember where the link is in the chat for our show that I post every Friday for people to just come on the show, he'd be able to come in. Yeah, get my name out your effing mouth. It was his wife's name, so yeah. But your name.
No, it's get my name out your effing meowth.
Mephisto says that Culture is out tending the garden. There you go. Probably.
Ugh. What? He's a prepper. You know he is.
He'd be the worst prepper.
He has a bomb shelter where he keeps all of his stamps. He's a stamp collector.
It's like Culture.
I had a
Did you
stamp
make sure you
collection in
had
a
plenty of
closet
water?
somewhere.
And Culture would be like, no, but I have 13 first edition 1974 stamps.
Which I will trade you for a
I'll
bottle
be
of
able
water.
to I'll be able to trade them in the apocalypse. They'll be like gold.
Yeah, it's like a water world where they keep bringing up the most insignificant, useless shit to trade. Here's dirt. Here's a mayonnaise jar of dirt.
Here's dry dirt,
man, it's
dry
not
ground,
a myth.
dry land.
I've seen it.
We got Penny joining. Hey, thanks for coming. Yeah, Soul Assassin Culture can't handle the Ascendant life. He comes on here sometimes. Yeah, we get if people who subscribe to Culture ever catch him on our streams, it's a whole different experience than what you're probably used to.
Oh yeah,
we occasionally get inebriated Culture. We get very thirsty Culture when Bride of Slender's
or even if he remembers that they exist.
Yeah,
I wonder if he's found out yet that when I did the Colot stream, Bride was on that stream with me.
Yeah, Putin's cat. It's like a Neil Breen movie where Culture's evil twin is the one that comes on the Ascendant Art podcast, and then he starts asking Mad, "Is Shredda around?
Yeah.
Could I message Shredda? Would you have a problem with that if I started messaging Shredda?"
Culture really is like a roulette when he comes on the podcast. Yeah. It's like, what culture do we get today?
Davina, it is only like 5% less gay. Because Matt is
I mean, we're still pretty gay.
Not me, bro.
Now Matt is like, hey bros, let's go all hang out and play volleyball.
I'm unmedicated. I've never been more straight.
It's the medication that does it. Yeah,
yes.
Alex Jones style.
The
medication's turning the Mad gay. It's turning him gay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, guys.
Putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking Mads gay.
Yeah, we just figured it out. Ooh, I hate guys.
Mad goes to his doctor, and the doctor says, "Hey, Mad," because that's his name, and so that's what he calls him.
That's what he calls me. Yeah.
So he's like, "I've noticed that you've not been talking about turning gay yet. I think we need to up your dosage a little bit. you're
not quite. I don't want it. No, Mad.
You haven't appeared in a Vets for Harris Waltz commercial yet. You're clearly not gay enough."
Are you mad enough to give her your full-throated endorsement, Matt?
Ooh, wait. I mean, yum. Wait, how would I'm trying to figure out how a straight guy would respond.
It works. It works.
Let's put it this way: it is official that Red Gun Tea has endorsed Harris Walls for president.
That is true. It is the most conservative tea on the market.
They're gonna take those clips of Tim Walz hunting and not being able to load a shotgun, and they're gonna use that in their next commercial.
No, that's funny. Well, in his defense, in the military, we are trained to use our nuts as a placement for the butt of the weapon to load.
I thought you were about to say as a placement to put on the top of your friend's face.
Okay, well that would be true though. That wouldn't be as funny.
That's Mad. There is a not 0% chance that Mad during basic or while living in the barracks either placed or had placed
Now that you mention that, why did he? Oh man. Like I keep thinking about how you load that one, and does that one have a side loader like your standard Mossberg?
Man, I didn't see it. Maybe
it was. I believe it has
the camera behind him.
I believe it has the standard loading gate on the bottom where you just.
Why did you rest it against your crotch?
Like, no, an experienced person would probably. With my shotgun, I prefer the violin loading style.
Yeah,
John, put it upside down and you load it that way. It's very efficient.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But I rock a semi-automatic shotgun, so it's a little bit different. So I don't know that, but it basically was the equivalent of, it's the hunting version, I think, of a Mossberg 500 is what it looked like.
I'm pretty sure it would be underneath.
Yeah, so it's just the standard. I've got one of those in the pump action, except it's a home defense style one instead of. They're basically. It's funny about. What's funny is it's all the same gun. They just put like a walnut stock on the.
Do you know what Tim Walsh is? He is the Zach Galifianakis from Campaign, from the movie Campaign.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Now that you said it. I'm gonna have to find clips and put them together.
Now I have to watch that movie because I don't think I've seen that.
It's a hilarious movie, but they have to bring in that one guy to try to man him up. That's what Tim Walsh needs, is someone to come in and man him up, like get rid of his Chinese dogs and bring him in a golden retriever.
You know what he needs? Do you ever remember the movie In and Out with Kevin Kline?
Yeah.
Where he was listening to like the cassette tapes to learn to be straight.
Yes.
Tim Waltz is definitely doing that on the campaign trail. He's like, all right, do you want to listen to, like, no, the question was like, what was Barbra Streisand's #1 hit in 1976? And he was like, oh, it was Funny Girl. And he's like, no, shut up, straight men don't know that.
Oh man, I'm trying to find a good. Okay, all right, maybe this will work. Hold on, now I got to bring it up here, but y'all can vamp.
Vamp? We're vamping while you're bringing things up.
Vamping it up.
Hopefully.
So I will give Walls like one little bit of credit, right? Like when I was in the military, I had never used an empty magazine for anything. And I was looking at pistols, and they had one of those just kind of empty placeholder magazines stuck in it. And when I hit the release button, that shit went flying, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then he's like, "Oh, military, huh?" And I was like, "I guess." Why is that so light? He's like, "Because it's empty. It's not even a real magazine. It's just a placeholder. You have to catch them because they basically spring out." And I was like, "Oh." Didn't know that, because I'm used to you hit the button and it kind of slides a little and you pull it out.
Yeah, you got to kind of rock it to the side to flip it out.
I mean, are you talking like AK style where you actually have to rock in the magazine?
Just a 9mm Beretta 9mm.
It's a 100%. Well, I will never use an AK style because I hate the.
Yep, and I'm American.
Also, on the flip of that, I never found myself in a firefight where I had an empty magazine at the end.
You were in the goddamn Navy. You were in the Navy. What were you going to have a firefight with where you had an empty magazine? Like, Battleship? Did the aliens come down and Liam Neeson ordered you?
So here's the issue though. They expect you to collect up your magazines when you're done. Fucking Army.
Yep.
All right. I may or may not. So when in Virginia, there was a consideration for, possibly doing magazine bans. And I was like, oh, I got to go out and buy, because they were going to grandfather, right? Whatever you had.
Got to get the extended mags before they become illegal.
But they're not extended. They're just 25 round magazine. That's
Here's
not
the
an
thing.
extended
They're just
magazine.
magazines. We don't need to call them anything beyond that.
Anyway, so a friend of mine who was in the Navy also, I had heard me bitching about it, and all of a sudden shows up to work one day, and he's like, "Hey, come out to my car," and he's like, he hands me, and it's like 8 of the aluminum, like magazines from
Nice.
I was like, aren't they going to miss them? He's like, nah, they were ready to be cycled out, but they're fine. We just have to get rid of them after a certain point. I was like, all you got to do is change the springs. And he's like, yeah, but we don't do that in the military.
Yeah,
we just buy new.
No.
We just
They're
buy
like,
new
this
magazines.
one is old now, and we have money we need to spend. Go buy new ones.
Yeah, we'll just leave it on the ground in Afghanistan, and what happens to that equipment happens to that equipment.
Yeah.
If
anything, if that equipment is on the verge of failure, you want the enemy to take it.
Now I do. So
Maybe
I
that's
do
what
have.
Biden was thinking with all that stuff in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I do have.
We colored him wrong.
I do have a lot of those, but the Magpul AR mags are just so much better. I mean, they're lighter. They seat properly more often than not, compared to the aluminum magazines. So I would, and they're dirt cheap. Like, if you're in a state that allows the sale of them, you can get like a Magpul Gen 2 for like $10, 25 round magazine. So I would suggest that. You don't have to go Gen 3 where it's got that translucent see-through.
Oh boy, he's going really deep into this.
Okay, yeah, I'll stop.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree. One of the reasons I really liked the P90 so much was, and I found out that this is like a mil spec thing, and I don't think you can get it as a civilian, but you can get a 100-round magazine for a P90.
That's a mil spec thing.
So here's the fun thing: the 50 round and the 100, they're all the same magazine. You just need to adjust the spring. You're not supposed to.
Oh.
But you can. I mean,
somebody sounds
rule
like
against
they know
it.
how to do illegal things with their firearms.
Somebody sounds like they're dropping switches in their Glock.
I am not. My ass had to go out because I had an AR pistol, which was perfectly legal at the time of purchase. And so, because I didn't want to have to go through any of the hassle of stuff, I went out and actually bought a full-size 18-inch barrel and just swapped it out. Because I was like, people were like, "Oh no, you can just take off the the pistol stock instead of using that." I'm like, "No, I'm not dealing with that." An AR swapping a barrel is like pop a pin, put it in it, and you're done. It's why wouldn't I do that instead? And I'll never. I mean, you're never not going to have a use for a barrel. So
I think Chad might be a prepper too. This is
right?
some prepper talk.
Let me ask you, Chad. Have you ever made a pipe bomb?
Have you ever written any manifestos on why the government is bad?
You've heard the extent of my manifestos. Sunday morning, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, on the bullpen with Brahmable. That's where I advocate for political states. But I've had this clip up. I should play. This is a great movie. If you haven't seen it in a while, it still holds up pretty funny.
Are you dressed in suitably masculine attire?
This is Tim Waltz.
Are you in control?
Yes. Yeah, right.
Are you ready to take charge? Are you a man?
Yes.
That was Tim Waltz. Yes, I am.
Stand up.
I think I get this mixed up with
straight
Mr. Hollis Open.
Yeah,
Excuse
Mr.
me,
Holland's
are we a
Open.
little teapot?
These are what's hilarious is all of these are the mannerisms you see Tim Waltz do on stage every time.
Yeah, the way he waves, it drives me nuts.
Untuck your shirt. Just one side.
Oh.
You hate this, don't you?
Well, look at it.
You want to be neat. You want to be tidy. Adjust yourself. Not there. Package,
It's a good
sissy
bit.
man.
It's a good bit.
Yeah, it's because this is. I mean, this is where I disagree with some people with the new generation where they talk about everything's fluid. There are distinct inborn traits of people who lean a certain persuasion. and you will not convince me that the people aren't born. You could make someone through a lot of traumatic things, but
listen, okay, I know some people don't believe it, but gaydar is a thing. Okay, it exists.
You can't tell me like Rosie O'Donnell, like nobody doubted. Like, there was no
listen,
there was no doubt.
My whole life, my gaydar has gone off constantly, even when no one's around. It is so annoying.
That's because you're gay for yourself.
I was gonna say, is it like you were looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like,
sometimes,
oh, wait a minute.
Sometimes, and then sometimes when I hold hands with myself, it happens.
Yeah, so sometimes stereotypes are bad, but you know what? A lot of times stereotypes are actually what's called pattern recognition, where you just like.
And most of them aren't bad. Most of them are just a thing.
Like Shredder always says, I'm not racist. I'm just observant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pattern recognition is far-right coded nowadays.
Apparently.
Grab them. You're in a bar room. Okay. Repeat after me.
Now take your hands off of them. You don't.
Hot damn. Hot damn. What a fabulous window treatment.
What a fabulous.
That was your trick. Ah! Yeah.
I would bet Tim Walls would fall for that one every single time.
You should share mine, because mine is actually Tim Walsh at dinner with his family.
Oh boy.
And his Chinese dogs.
That's right. He drank like the Twinkie with his straw.
This is not the right clip, but you guys get it.
What the fuck is going on in here? You kids go upstairs, wash your filthy faces, and get to bed. Hurry up!
Marty, are you gonna let him talk to our children that way?
See, I know you're Marty's wife, but I swear to Christ, you get out of this room before I lose my shit.
Marty!
Now, Mr. Watley.
Marty, I need you kicking Cam's balls in on a daily basis. And I
We need to redub JD Vance instead of the other name.
Hee-haw with the fuck around gang.
Oh, he's drunk. You're drunk.
Yeah, I'm a little lit. So what? You have an opportunity to win this thing.
Do you really think so?
You promised me this dog could hunt. Can you do that?
Yes, I can, Mr. Watley.
That's my boy.
Anyway, that has the it's so good. He's like, and you better bring your broom because Washington's a mess.
That is
Dude,
definitely
y'all
Tim
need to
Walsh.
watch that movie, man, because he is Tim Walsh.
Although I will say the most accurate movie for how Washington D.C. really works is The Distinguished Gentleman with Eddie Murphy. There's a great part where he's talking to someone and he's like, "Wait, what about where I stand on the issues?" It's like, I don't give a shit. If you stand here, I'll get you money from these people. If you stand there, I'll get you money from these people. The only thing is, if we want all the money from these people, you're gonna just have to vote this way, and no one cares about that, so you just do it. Oh, that was a good one. He ran on name recognition without ever showing his face. It was the invention of the basement campaign. It was.
I've been watching all these shorts about people finding these hedgehogs in the wild, and it makes me want to go outside and look for hedgehogs.
Don't bring your salt gun.
What? No.
Yeah, why are you going to shoot hedgehogs?
How dare you all?
Isn't there a line from Stairway to Heaven about a hedgehog?
I mean,
yes.
So far as I know at this point, right? The only reason you go outside is to shoot caterpillars.
That's not true.
You don't just no. He doesn't just go outside. He reconnoiters. He's like doing full on patrols of his
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I've thinned the numbers out. I haven't seen one in at least 3 days now.
Well done.
Yeah,
he is personally taking out.
It's been a genocide.
Oh,
I even had to put down Catapete, who was my pet caterpillar.
Mad, don't be Asmongold.
I don't know what happened with him. To be honest.
Yeah, I guess we might as well get into it.
Oh, Soul Assassin, that movie, which is amazing, is called Head of State. And Bernie Mac is his running mate.
Yeah, I need assassination insurance.
Yep. Head of State's great, dude. With yeah.
So Slender, why don't you bring Matt up to speed on what happened?
Okay, so Asmongold, I'm sure you probably know who that is.
Is he the
Gamer,
long-haired
commentator.
guy?
One of them. Some people might mix him up with yeah, him.
Yeah.
He was recently banned from Twitch because I guess they got on the topic of the Israeli-Palestine conflict that's going on right now, and he said some things I guess Twitch didn't like. In my opinion, nothing wrong really. Maybe a little hyperbolic in what he said, but I don't think anything there was a ban-worthy offense. In all honesty, and I guarantee if it was reversed and he was saying these things about Israel, perhaps, I don't think he'd have been banned. I don't think he'd have caught any flack. But not to go on whataboutism, but he folded. He apologized, and I don't like that he apologized, and I don't think he needed to apologize.
I think he just needed to say it from a hot tub, and I think he would have been fine.
It's true. It's true. Anything you say from a hot tub is immediately okay. You get the pass.
Yep, legally speaking.
And the only reason he got banned isn't because Twitch did ban him, but it wasn't from Twitch noticing and going, hey, that's wrong. It's because Hassan Piker got his panties in a fucking knot.
Hassan Piker he's a fucking terrible person. Like, if anything, he should be banned because Hassan Piker he has even stated himself that he is a propagandist who is willing to lie to push his own agendas. He has openly admitted that he's a propagandist.
And he riled up his fan base to brigade and fucking report the clip.
Yeah, and Hassan Piker is a scumbag, like, of the highest order. This is a man who has on numerous occasions, as an American, which I really wish you could just kind of revoke an American citizenship, but he has on numerous occasions celebrated the death and dismemberment of U.S. military, soldiers and sailors, which is disgusting. Getting back to Asmongold, though, he issued a whole apology, and a lot of lefties. He's got a huge following. Like, it blows any of us out of the water with how many people watch him, like millions a day. So the left, as opposed to their usual methodology of we're going to cancel this motherfucker, they know he's more center. He's more moderate than right-leaning. So they tried to get him. And so he issued a clarification yesterday, I believe, on his apology, where he has said, like, listen, I know a lot of people expect things to change because I apologized for being an asshole, but I'm not going to start, like, playing Dustborn and singing the praises of DEI games. I'm still going to be making the same kind of content, and I'm still going to call out that shit when I see it. And I'm like, okay, I'm cool with that. Now people are losing their fucking minds over that. That's why they're calling it a surprising statement after his Twitch ban, I guess.
He never should. This is why you don't apologize. All right. Well, you do a little clarification, like maybe I was a little hyperbolic and said things a little angry than I meant. And then you
definitely never issue the apology because the left, especially at this point, conflates I was wrong with you were right. Like, they think if you apologize, you have admitted that they are right. And
Marvel Spider-Man 2 is getting DLC and it's coming to PC. Looking forward to the MJ mods that'll likely be removed because of toxic gamers.
As they should be. Wait, hold on. What if we replace MJ with Michael Jones?
Michael Jordan? Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, Michael Jordan, yeah, is Spider-Man's
It'd be
love
Does that
much
mean
better
Sp-
explanation
does that
as to
mean-
why MJ can fight the bad guys toward the end of the game too.
True.
Would that make Spider-Man Scottie Pippen? I don't know. Like, how does that work?
Wow.
No, it'd make him. Who's the basketball player from the Bulls that had sex with Madonna and went to North
Dennis
Korea?
Rodman?
Dennis
Rodman. That'd make
He
him
was-
Dennis Rodman.
He was a rebounding power forward. He wasn't a scorer. He wasn't a hero.
Yeah, but when there were balls in the court, he grabbed them.
True.
He grabbed all the balls. Don't you remember Double Impact with?
Oh,
no,
I remember.
was that the one he was in with Jean-Claude Van Damme, or was
I
that
think
Studman?
he was in one of them. I know that.
I mean, they all blend together.
I know he was a weird guy, but he was an incredible rebounder. So no complaints.
Do you remember what his nickname was?
The Worm.
The Worm. Yeah.
Yep.
Good on you, Imp.
I was.
Yeah,
I
you
was
want to know how I
surprised
remember that?
because
God,
you were
you're gonna ruin
traumatized
it.
by it because you were afraid of men with different hair colors in the 90s.
No, because
I mean, he had all the different hair colors too.
Oh, that's right.
Oh
That-
yeah.
when the basketball players kept Karl Malone showed
Oh,
up.
yep, the mailman.
I forgot about that. The mailman was tag team partners with DDP, right?
Yes, and Hulk Hogan was with the Worm.
Yep, because that fit their character models. It was perfect.
Yep. But it's not as if he was having to do that by day and play in the playoffs by night, or
Oh my gosh! It was the name of the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme was Double Team.
yeah,
I mean, could you
that's a
come
good
up with a gayer name? For...
Double Impact.
Double
Oh.
penetration.
I mean, that's probably what happened on set.
There's a lot of ways you could go with it.
Yeah, but yeah. So but the worst part, then Asmongold got kicked out of his own company. He co-founded
Those are the
game
ones
building.
that bug me. Apparently, according to some of the stuff that's been said about that, like he's been talking about stepping away from those companies for a while. I mean, why? Dude's a millionaire. Like, he does not have to work. He really doesn't.
But he still has to live in his mother's attic.
Well, that's.
I am
one of the things
100% a believer that is a fake set that he just keeps. Like, do you notice that?
In actuality, part of what he said in his most recent statement was that he really needed to step away and work on himself. He's a 34-year-old man who lives in his mother's attic, and
No, he didn't say that.
He did.
I was making that up. I thought I was bullshitting about him being in his mother's attic.
No.
You got to keep those expenses down. That's how you become a millionaire.
The last line in his clarification to the apology from yesterday or 2 days ago. Hopefully y'all can see how this really is macro issue and not just this situation. My life has actually been fucked for a while now, and I need to fix it. I am a 30-year-old single man living in his mother's house with dead animals and garbage. Although I don't hate it, I don't want to die this way.
Okay, well, there's a lot to unpack there. I'm not going to. I'm going to go have a smoke. But my mom's attic door is on point. I looked at this picture and I was like, that's his mom's attic.
Yep. Converted into living space so that he could live there, I guess.
I mean, maybe I guess.
So there
suppose maybe
has
I'm
been a
wrong.
thing coming where, like, I guess he's getting too lost in the sauce, and it's making him really angry. And he's not liking kind of the way it's making him be and everything. And I've been there. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I need to take a break from the internet for a couple days and just get away from it. So it's probably 1,000 times worse when you've got someone, his size and reach and everything else. Oh yeah, Bride. He finds like dead rats and stuff in among the garbage all the time. It's gross. Dude is a disgusting slob. I'm not giving him a pass on that one. But like, I don't know. I still don't think he said anything wrong. And the fact that the companies that have, mutually decided to part ways with Asmongold, like, which one was it? Starforge, the computer company? Like, they made a
Starforge is the
statement.
PC building company, yeah.
Yeah, and they made this whole statement about how they categorically are against any kind of bigotry and hate and blah blah blah. Your standard very hard-boiled left-wing statement on the DEI matters. And it's like, Okay, you parted ways with Asmongold. Supposedly, it was mutually decided upon that it would be best for everybody if this happened. Why'd you have to make that fucking statement? Especially if you care about the guy and you know he did make your company. You'd think you would have just at least the littlest bit of gratitude where you could keep your fucking mouth shut and not jump on the dog pile. You know? But no, they had to make their fucking statement.
Maybe put a little thank you in your mouth is what you're trying to say.
Maybe put a little thanks in your mouth, you know?
Mad, this one's for you. Matt, Josh says, Mad, you should quit smoking. Not good for your health with the amount of going to smoke you do on streams. But he's probably out smoking before he just
well, I mean,
clicks
he's
away.
probably listening to it on his phone, so you might see a response in the chat.
That's true.
Since Mad does love when people address him directly.
You can incept Mad into a show if you start talking enough about him.
Especially if you talk shit.
Yeah. But I don't know.
That is true. Right is right. When you tell someone they shouldn't smoke, 9 times out of 10, that just makes them really want a cigarette.
Yeah. Maybe someone, if I told Asmongold he shouldn't apologize, would it make him not apologize in the future? Because that's the right call there.
Well, that's when you tell him you should apologize. Like you need to apologize. Just activate the contrarian in people.
Here, let me do this with the right tone. I wasn't talking crap. I was just trying to be helpful. Just trying to be helpful, Mad. It wasn't anything mean. Just trying to be helpful.
No, it's true too. I mean, I don't know how many times I tried to quit smoking before I finally succeeded, but I haven't smoked in like what, a year now?
It was Lent, right? Where you gave it up?
Yeah, it was just
I gave it up for Lent. So okay, not a year. What, 6 months?
But
something
you've been
like
pretty
because you had just
solid
quit
this 6
smoking
months.
after I started hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
And
you were only smoking for like 2 weeks, and then you quit for Lent.
Oh, those were some angry streams.
Oh my god, yeah.
There was like a couple gaming.
Though there's still like some irrational anger that'll boil over every once in a while because
I don't think that even
have
smoking would help
anymore.
you with that.
There, like a couple of the gaming streams right after you had gone cold turkey were a little bit touchy, like
a little bit dicey.
Like let's like get messages in the background. Is Slender? Is he okay? He's not gonna kill us, right? We're good, right? Like he's fine. He's just quitting smoking. it's what happens. What is it I made you watch? Oh, we went to Madam Web in the middle of you quitting smoking. That was as bad as that
is
was.
Bride telling us to be nice again? We don't do nice, Bride. You know this.
Ew, nice? Fuck no.
Yeah.
She's telling chat to be nice.
No, she's telling us to be nice.
Oh, okay. Oh, never mind.
I am not a nice person.
I mean, you think she's telling chat to be nice? She doesn't care what chat says. But apparently, we have restrictions.
Hold on, like
Copy
Kitty
say something. What do you got to say?
Copy Kitty remember. I was gonna say Copied Kitty remembers because she was Copy was the pretty much the solid regular for all those gaming streams, and yeah, very cranky for a while.
I'm being perfectly reasonable.
What is
in my bombastic kind of way?
The
other door, you know, that one doesn't work.
Fix your shit.
I can't. I don't know how to fix a sliding glass door like that.
You know, Google's a thing.
All right, people want the right kind of goober stuff. Let's see. I think this one.
Like it needs new wheels. The wheels are all busted up, but taking it off and putting new wheels on and putting it back on is.
I love this. It is the most.
Give me a
It is
pain. What is
my
this?
favorite Goober thing. I think I played it for you.
He's played
Oh,
it
you
for us. My
have.
response
I
is going to be the
remember
same
this.
as it was last time. It's blasphemic in ways I can't even describe.
Just keeps right on turning.
Gross.
It's so good.
Why do you do this to us?
Death and hatred, hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwash.
This is not okay.
Evil little minds.
and we have to make sure we keep talking it over it before we get the.
Am I going to have to break out a palate
copyright
cleanser?
strike.
No, this is so good.
All right, well, that's gonna do it for me, everybody.
You're leaving already, Matt?
Why are you leaving? I'm kidding. I
I'm-
know
I'm-
why you're leaving.
I
It's
made
all
it
right.
as long as I could.
You did. You did. You did good.
Well,
You did good. You did good, little Matt. You're good.
Thank you.
you've done enough.
I always
We'll
say
earn
that
it.
after
Don't
sex
worry.
too.
Don't worry. We'll earn this.
Good little Matt. You is that after you sing it your theme song?
Yes, it is. All right, bye
You're
everybody.
reigning the Mad
Oh, Matt,
King.
before you leave,
Oh.
I
Oh.
checked last night for.
Oh, did you hear the groan? Like, Imp's asking me a question. Oh,
Go, go on. You checked.
I
Last
checked
night?
last night. Outriders isn't on Game Pass anymore.
Oh,
Well, that changes
Okay.
everything.
now I'm staying. That's what I was gonna know. That sucks, dude. But I played the hell out of it already.
Yeah, well, like I said, we'll figure out something we can get our, grubby little mitts on to play.
Starting Sunday already.
it's like that before. Are the Cowboys on bye week?
Yeah.
That'll explain.
Wait, Matt, are you doing gaming on your new channel that's opening up next week?
Yes.
Lame. You should just put those over in Ascendant Arcade. Leave the gaming to that.
Fine. No. Bye.
You don't have to talk him out of it. He's never gonna stream on his channel.
How dare you?
I'm just saying. Here's the thing, Matt.
I already have
I'll
a
make
subscriber.
you a deal. If you put your gaming streams and stuff up on Ascendant Arcade, I'll edit them.
God,
I
coming
like
in hot.
editing.
Cowboys need a bye week.
I can't disagree with that. They do.
Jerry needs a bye week from the radio station. That's what
Well, I mean, he's so close to having a bye week from life. I don't.
Jerry Jones is gonna be like friggin' it was a Carter. They're gonna wheel him out, and he's gonna be a shriveled corpse, and he's still gonna be the GM of the Cowboys. And he'd be like, "Why do you disagree with my moves? Would you?"
Alrighty, bye
Oh.
everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Bye, Matt.
Yeah, see you guys.
Talk to you later, buddy.
All right. Yeah, that Jimmy Carter, that guy. The idea that they were like he was so proud to vote for Kamala Harris is like
He was proud to take a dump that morning. What are they talking about?
he's not proud of anything. He doesn't know who he is or what he's
Yeah,
doing.
he's not even aware. Like he has Joe Biden levels of cognitive ability right now.
They like wheeled it looked like a prop from a movie of a shriveled corpse. I swear.
I mean, it does make sense. We do know that most dead people tend to vote Democrat, so
yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be, of course they're going to hide the pictures. Even though we all saw the video legally. Nope, they won't put that new picture up. Oh, here we go. This is some nightmare fuel. This is a person, there you go, former president. This is his current state where they used that picture in a headline that said at 100 he's proud to vote for Kamala Harris. I've seen a lot of people between 95 and 100 who are still cognizant, ready to go. It's rare.
that ain't it.
This isn't it. This is not it.
I saw someone on Twitter say something the other day that I almost spit my coffee out on my screen, that Joe Biden is the next best president we've had since Carter. Most people hate this fucking geriatric fuck.
I mean, probably part of the reason he was so happy Joe Biden got elected in the first place was he was like, oh, thank God. I'm not going down in history as the worst president in the history of America.
Yeah, no, that's not to say Carter isn't a good human being. From what I've heard, he generally was. But he was a shit politician.
Dude, you can be a good person and be totally incompetent.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
I've had some really nice bosses that I'm like, I wish this motherfucker wasn't my boss.
Oh, all right. So holding on. So speaking off of that line of thinking, Eric Myers asks, "Where's Brahma tonight?" And he is at the Avalanche game. Completely separate from Slender bringing up people who are nice people but completely incompetent.
Don't you do that? No, do not. Last thing I need is Brahma coming back and having a bone to pick with me because I said something that had nothing to do with him.
This is a good question. Wilson or Carter? Wilson did more damage, so I'd say Wilson because we have an income tax because of Wilson, and I don't think I can ever forgive that.
That is, yeah.
Amongst other amendments that are questionable and dubious. Specifically, direct election of senators, which I think is a terrible, terrible decision.
Anyway,
but that's politics.
This is a pop culture type channel. You got to save some of that for your bullpen on Sundays. 12:30 Eastern.
Well, let's give Slender the chance for the victory lap here.
Oh, victory lap! Hold on, I gotta take my victory lap. Can't hear you because I'm busy taking my victory lap. I was rushed. This show fucking sucks. Everybody knows it sucks. I know it's getting canceled. Can't believe it's got a second season, but at least I finally pulled their heads out of their asses.
So the
victory lap was a victory marathon.
Yeah. So So what I'm going to get, and this is why it's even more of a victory lap for Slender, is I'm going to tell you that they never greenlit a second season. It was all one order. Because it's animation,
had it all drawn up and recorded. It was already done
in animation, and they were only like 10 episode orders. So they ordered effectively 20 episodes plus a special
full season,
one season of animation.
Yeah,
so that
broke up into 2 seasons.
And the way animation works, there's no they were already working on animating the second season before the first one even came out. And when they announced during the first season that a second season was coming, it wasn't because they had spent more money. I thought the fans liked it. They were just committed to it by contract. So where we're at is after the order that they made has now finished, where HBO Max, whatever they call themselves now, had the opportunity. They were like, peace out, we're out of the Velma business 100%. So they got out as soon as the contract was done, because it was already money they were going to spend. They had already premiered the show, so it didn't make sense not to to pull it. So what HBO does is a little different than what Disney did. HBO, Warner Brothers, when they didn't do something like Batgirl, that movie they made, they pulled it, they wiped the hard drives, they got rid of it. It doesn't exist. It'll never be leaked out. It's just gone. So whereas Disney premiered Willow, the television series, destroyed an intellectual property's value, pissed off fans like Mad, who, if people don't know,
they pissed off the cast of Willow too. Like, oh boy, little man, he is very unhappy with what they did to the show.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot.
Saying he's not getting paid,
considering his wife recently passed. So
yeah,
he's got. I'm sure that's sticking in his. Everything's all culminating and sticking in his craw.
I mean, yeah.
Warwick Davis.
I don't think anyone's happy when that happens, except for maybe
funeral home director.
Yeah.
Warwick Davis is probably on the top 10 highest grossing actor lists of all time. And people are like, well, how is that possible? He was in Return of the Jedi because he was the character. He was the actor in the Wicket, Ewok suit.
Was he?
Yeah, he was only like 16 at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then he was in Willow, which another George Lucas production. But he played like 17 characters in the Harry Potter movies. Yeah. It was ridiculous. Like, he was playing trolls. He was playing.
He's basically the Tom Hanks of dwarf actors.
Yep, he was in the Phantom Menace. He had a cameo scene in Tatooine. This guy, like, if you go with the box office that were in of the movies he was in, he's pretty solid on the list. Yeah, Davina. It was a short but lucrative career. It's funny. Mad would be loving the LP chat right now. So,
yeah, of course we have the LP chat after he goes.
Yeah. Bride of Slender, Willow was awesome, and it only ever was an amazing movie. Yeah, there's nothing that happened after it.
Yeah, nothing else ever happened with Willow. And thank God for that. I shudder to think how they would have ruined it.
But this is I think where we're starting to we know that, and we've talked with people like Script Doctor who was on the show. Turning things around in Hollywood is not something that happens immediately, because there's things in pipelines, right? There's pipelines of production, and it takes a couple years for stuff that was already in the pipeline to be cleared out for your new direction to take hold. And so we're starting to clear out that stuff. The first hints at different directions that we would have seen, movies like Deadpool and Wolverine, was greenlit by Bob Chapek. For that brief window, he was actually able to say yes to movies. We know that the two highest grossing movies for Disney this year were Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2. And we know with Inside Out 2's production, a lot of Pixar people were unhappy because the mandate from Chapek and Up on High was, don't make this gay, make it good for families, and if you bitch about it, you're fired. They made a movie.
I mean, I gotta say, dude, I kind of wish Chapek was still in charge, because Disney might have actually survived.
Yeah, I think Chapek was starting to make the moves again, because stuff's in pipelines. And so he was, the only two movies that were greenlit and fully produced by him as the CEO of Disney are Inside Out 2 and Deadpool.
Well, and
Wolverine.
it's going to be the same with the gaming companies, like the big AAA games. They take 5+ years, some even a decade, to make the game now, right? So we're seeing a lot of people pulling up and waving off away from the DEI stuff, but everything that's in the pipe right now, like, we're not going to see the fix, so to speak, probably for at least another 5 years, except indie games, the smaller studios. We've seen them having immense success and pulling away a lot faster. And I described it as, if you're flying a Cessna into the side of a mountain, it's very easy to pull up and miss the mountain. If you're flying a C-130 into the side of a mountain, you can pull back on that stick as much as you want, but you might not be pulling up in time. And that's why a lot of AAA studios, Ubisoft, Bethesda, they might not survive.
So Eric Myers brings up a good point, if you followed Disney's history, that Chapek had a reputation, because before he became CEO, he headed the parks division, parks and experiences. And he had a reputation for nickel and diming and upcharging in the parks in the mid 2010s. I would contend that at the time, Chapek was given orders to wring out all the profit he could from the parks, because Bob Iger was spending like a drunken sailor. No offense to the sailors on our show. But he was buying Marvel, he was buying Lucasfilm. He then spent $75 billion on Fox. This money had to come from somewhere. I can tell you
what do you do with a drunken sailor, but that's a whole song, and I don't want to get into it right now.
All
No, maybe sometimes. I mean, it depends. If it's their first offense, then you usually just shave their belly with a rusty razor. But I mean, eventually, yes, you may have to keel haul some people, and that's more of a death sentence than anything. You're probably not surviving a keel hauling.
Isn't that the point?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we're going to get into some naval history. A keel haul is where you tie a rope to the arm of a sailor and another rope to the leg of a sailor, and you throw the rope over one side and grab it from the other side, and you pull the sailor under the ship and drag his body underwater while sailing through the ocean across the barnacles that have come growing on the bottom of the ship, which will shred his clothes and his skin and leave him bloody and dying. Most people don't survive that.
Yes, Smokey. Admiral Slender knows a lot about semen.
I was not an admiral. No, I don't do stolen valor like some people. Tim Walls. I was only ever a first class petty officer.
You mean you worked for your living? Good for you.
Yes, I work for a living.
And I'm also
Don't
of
call
the
me
belief
sir. I
that-
work for a living.
I also am of the belief that certain punishments like blood eagles and keel hauling need to make a comeback. It'll stop a lot of shit real quick.
I mean, I feel like you might be going a little far on what you're asking for, but maybe.
I mean, I'm for corporal punishment, but I don't know about
It'll
blood eagles
stop
and
a
keel
lot.
hauling.
You publicly televise a blood eagle, it's going to stop a lot of shit real quick.
Well, it'll also stop a lot of people from being loyal to the people performing blood eagles and keel haulings. Like, there's a level of punishment. I don't think we're there yet.
I don't know. I think
Yeah, Soul
pedophiles
Assassin.
can
I
get
actually explained this once upon a time. If you look at the root words, petty officer, right? Like petty, of little to no consequence. Officer, one that makes decisions. So a petty officer is someone who makes decisions that are of little or no consequence.
And I'm not saying to give those punishments to just anybody for anything, Slender. I'm talking people who've really, because it's not like the Vikings used blood eagles on everybody. You had to really fuck up to get blood eagled.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
for
If we're talking
example-
punishments for traitors, well then
Traitors,
you
pedos,
might have me on board. But
crimes like that.
Would Velma be a crime worthy of a blood eagle?
No.
no, but a keel
And-
hauling.
Like, yeah, here you go.
Intense
Say-
mockery and denigration. That's about it.
Yeah, so Velma occurs on your ship. You're a captain. What is the punishment for the sailor responsible for creating Velma?
Court martial, 45-45, reduction in rank, and separation.
I'm going to
It's
say
like,
whatever
get
the
out of my
most
fucking
physically
navy, you're
brutal
done.
punishment could be that wouldn't kill him.
Soul Assassin, note to self: don't mess with Imp's music collection. Blood Eagle, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even going to describe what a blood eagle is because that's pretty bad too.
Oh, I will if you won't. It doesn't bother me.
No, we don't need to describe that. I don't
Nah, I
know
think
if
we should.
YouTube will be okay with us describing that.
There's a song about it, so if that's on there, I don't see why not.
Nah, I'm good. Nah. There's a whole thing you do with the lungs. You kind of remove them from the back. It's a weird thing. It's not good.
That is not good. No.
Nope.
Not at all.
Yeah. That's why they call it a blood eagle, because you have like wings
Your
by
lungs
the end of
become
it.
wings.
Yeah, it's gross.
Let's see. I'm going to go to...
What the hell school are you going to, Soul Assassin, where public schools are teaching you about blood eagles?
Yeah, I never got taught that history.
Yeah, neither did I. And I went
I
to
looked
school in
that
the
shit
90s
up
where
on
they
my
still
own.
taught history. Drawing and
Bloody
quartering is
goalie.
another one I'm a fan of.
Voice to chat again, huh, Bride? Bloody goalie happened like 3 times in recorded history.
That we know of.
Bloody goalie. Is that where you hit someone so hard while you're playing hockey that their lungs shoot out their back?
I mean, have you seen how hard they hit that puck?
I mean, Beretta 9mm have been known to just cause spontaneous blood eagles left and right. Those things they'll blow your lungs clean out your body.
Yeah.
All right. But as the way to end our Velma conversation, we will share and play what is our actually most viewed short.
Is it still? I thought one of yours might have overtaken it, but cool.
No,
I'm still on top.
every time Velma pops up, this thing ends up getting a few hundred more views that week.
Nice.
So I think in fact the week that the cancellation got announced, we ended up getting a few hundred views on this again. So there you go.
Started making the rounds again, huh?
Yeah, it's evergreen content.
Even though I was not a big fan of Scooby-Doo, I could tell you the things that were entertaining and good about it. They had good characters. Those characters had good chemistry. They all brought a unique perspective and set of skills. They were rather diverse, if not in race, in personality. I know that doesn't account for anything anymore. The only thing that matters is your immutable characteristics that you were born with, but visuals speak louder than actions and words combined at this point. But this show, it doesn't know the tone, it doesn't know the lore, it doesn't know the characters, it doesn't know shit because it didn't care. They literally reskinned a story that isn't Scooby-Doo with Scooby-Doo characters. Even though I was not a big fan of Scooby-Doo. Everything I said was right, as per usual. Glad we still have that.
And there's internet proof. Not that Slender was ever going to admit that he was wrong about something, but
Oh no,
proof.
even if everybody else had said this was the greatest shit in the world, I would have died on that hill because I fucking hated that show. That's right up there with Witcher Blood Origin for me.
Low Spec is dipping out. Thanks for hanging out.
Later, Low Spec. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out.
Josh Hammond says it does sum it up perfectly. Good job. Yep.
Thank you.
Feel free to put our shorts on repeat to help our watch hours keep going up, and share and like and subscribe and all those other good things. And if anyone ends up finding the show on replay, like and subscribe. We could use the subs.
Yeah, leave some random comments. The extra engagement's also extremely helpful.
We're trying. Brahma is lapping us, man. He's gonna possibly be monetized by election night for our election night stream. It's gonna be. We don't want to be left behind, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, dude. I'll rage quit like Mario Kart style if I get lapped. I'll just be like, I'm fucking done.
Yeah, Eric. If you need 3,000 watch hours for regular content to be monetized. If you're only making shorts, you need like 3 million watch. It's like,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. Although I think
that's part of the reason we drifted away from shorts, because like we were getting a lot of watches out of them, but it's the monetization schema for that it's non-existent.
I mean, there's people
just
who
go make fucking TikToks.
There's people who make it work. Grant Gregory, God love him. He's awesome, and he made shorts work for him.
Oh, what? You're telling me a computer can make it work? Like, we're talking about people right now, Lil Chad. Grant Gregory, we know, is not a person. He's an AI.
I thought he was a person, though.
He uploaded himself to the Matrix years ago.
He is one.
He's been dead since the mid 2000s. He's just computer man now. Getting into the deep lore.
Yep.
I think that might not even be like has appeared in any videos lore. I think that might just be random shit we talked about backstage.
Grant Gregory could be a cyborg. Booyah.
Could be he is.
He is a Tesla robot that became self-aware and then traveled back in time. Yeah. All right. We've got next week. Venom: The Last Dance comes out. We talked about it briefly. This is basically the biggest movie that will be coming out in October.
I've enjoyed every Venom movie. I mean, I didn't think any of them was great, but I have fun watching them, and I'll watch this one.
Yeah, so I think I think it'll be fine. I think the projections are that it'll make like 70 million, which seems on par. The first one made 90. I think the second one made around that same amount. Seems fairly safe. I mean, it's been, I think Beetlejuice was the last bigger release movie. That was the beginning of September.
I'm gonna say it makes over 100 million.
You think 100?
Here's my thought process on that. There's a bit of a drought right now, and the people are thirsty. So, I think this movie satisfies a certain hunger that there hasn't been a lot for this year. You know what I'm saying?
I also think that there's a pretty similar crowd for Deadpool, Wolverine, and
Mhm.
Venom. And
Yeah.
Deadpool, Wolverine might have helped energize the audience a little more. If that had been kind of a dud, I think Venom would be in a worse position. But because
Yes,
that was
definitely.
such a good time, there's going to be a lot of goodwill that Venom's going to pick up on being just a goofy, fun action superhero movie.
Yeah. Davina, they're not bad. They're like I said, they're not great. Like you're not gonna walk out of a Venom movie and be like, that was just amazing. It's changed my life. But they have that old fashioned summer blockbuster fun feel to them.
Oh my god, look at this. I'm depressed. The tickets went up $5 since the last time I went to the theater for Twisters. Twisters came out in July.
And tickets have gone up
Well,
$5 since then.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
it's the only way these theaters can make money. They're shutting
I
down
know.
left and right.
We used to raise our prices right before. So we didn't at AMC. We wouldn't do it like any set time of year, but we would do it right before we knew a big movie that everyone was going to see was coming for. I remember we raised our prices right before Phantom Menace. I think we raised ticket prices back.
You scum.
We raised, but to bear in mind, Slender, this is 1999, so we raised prices a quarter. So
yeah,
it was like the matinee showtime price at what we used to call Twilight, which was between 4 and 6 o'clock,
right.
went from $4.25 to $4.50.
Ooh, that's oh man! I wish I only had to pay. Hell, I'll pay $5.
Yeah, the normal like evening rate for an adult ticket, if I remember right, went from $7.50 to $7.75.
Yeah, you can't get a ticket for less than 10 nowadays.
No, it's like, and we're in the our price point, at least where we're at, where we live in the more rural area, is in the rural zone. So the fact that our price point is like $12 to $15 depending on time of day. That
Imagine
means,
if we were going somewhere in a big city, it'd be like
yeah,
$20.
it'd be like $20 to $24.
Yeah. And if I recall correctly, the cheapest thing you get at a movie place is the ticket. So, God, I wonder what the popcorn costs.
Cool, that's where they make all the money. You don't get any money off the ticket because the way it works is the ticket split is 50-50 after several weeks.
Disney doesn't get any money from the popcorn.
But it doesn't start 50-50. It usually starts like 65-70% to the theater. I mean, to the movie producer, and 30% if they're a movie that can negotiate those kinds of terms. But they also charge rental fees.
Good night, Penny. Also, Tina, I know your pain. I have, like
takes $100.
When you got a family of 7, it's like
I thought she only had 2 boys.
Yeah,
So,
well, this is why we don't go to the movies.
We got Bad Take and Good Take, and then the 2
Yeah.
boys. So that's 4. If the tickets are around, never mind. If the tickets are around 20, because that's Chicago, they're probably like 24 or $25 a ticket.
Well, think about it, man. When like we went to see Beetlejuice, Bride, and my 2 youngest, they came with, right? The tickets alone for us were what, 50? So
yeah, so that is, that it's pretty dramatic. You really have to want to go see a movie, or you have to do like I do, where you just live close enough where you can get one of the subscriptions. For me, it's $20 a month, and I get a movie a day.
Well, that's part of the reason why movies don't, like, the theaters are struggling. It used to be, I don't know about you, but like when I was a teenager, a young lad, right? And I had just recently acquired my driver's license, and I had a girlfriend, and me and my buddies and my girlfriend and my buddies' girlfriends, we were all hanging out. We would just be talking like, what do you guys want to do today? And we'd be like, want to go see a movie? Sure, let's go see what's in the movie theater. Like, you don't fucking do that shit anymore. You got to plan for a movie because you're going to be spending $100. Like, it's not an impromptu, what do you want to do today kind of situation.
So there's 2 things the theaters could do that would address one of the big problems, and it would help them at the same time. a lot of people who are older do not like the theater experience now because they feel like there's a lot, there's teenagers that'll talk, be on their phones, be obnoxious. Like if I'm spending all this money, I don't want that experience. And on the other hand, you've got teenagers who aren't going to the movies in the same volume because it's expensive and they don't have the money. What they should do, if the theater chains were smart, is have showtimes where there's a specific student discount for a showtime, like at 7:25 and at 10:15. The two, like when the new movies opens, those are the student discount showtimes. So you can suck up all the annoying kids into one theater. And then you have the regular showtimes, and when the adults go to those, they won't have the teenagers in there.
And they'll know, and the teenagers will know about those showtimes, so it could reinvigorate that impromptu, let's just go to the movies because we got nothing better to do.
Yeah, you make them show a student ID because middle schools, high schools, they all give student IDs now. With photos. Yeah, and even up to college. So any form of student ID, you give them a significant discount on the price. You make it like if the normal ticket is $14, you make the student ticket $7.50.
Oh, so yeah, especially for teenagers, because teenagers, like, if they're going to go sit in the movie for 2 hours, they're going to buy snacks. They're going to buy a fuck ton of snacks. Those kids eat.
Yep. And that way if you make the discount good enough, you will suck up it's simple economics. People are rational. If you're a kid and minimum wage.
And you sell those Monster and Red Bulls, man, like kids will pay like $8 a can for that shit.
Yeah, and that way you like I said, then you drift all the students and the people most likely to be annoying into a couple screenings in the evening, and then the adults can go to these other ones and feel like they're going to have a good experience. It'll work out well. It'll help all the problems that are the most prolifically mentioned when people talking about bad theater experiences.
Yep.
Bride of Slender, I have a cold. Text to speak is way worse now because I think it was like have a match day.
Yeah, Bride's not feeling very good today, so if everybody could, wish her to get well soon, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah. The popcorn bucket thing is, I think.
No, why are we still talking? I'm gonna wait until everyone in chat wishes Bride get well soon. I haven't seen it in chat. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that. Keep going.
Oh well, Davina did. Eric did. The delay is kicked in now, so they're all.
I'm sure there's a delay. They're probably all hearing me yell at them now.
You have shamed them, and oh, of course, Copy did. She's a sweetheart. She's bad takes in there. All right, to Eric's question: does AMC Alamo have a premium format or reporting system to improve audience? So yes, each theater chain has it. Alamo in their newer chains have what they call the big screen, which is a leather recliner theater with little trays where you have personal trays where they'll put the food and everything. The tickets are ridiculously expensive for it. It's like $25 a person, but they do have it. AMC has their version, which they call the Big D, like big digital. It's basically a fake IMAX.
AMC is gonna give you the Big D.
It's a digital large format screen premium thing, but they don't maintain them. AMC's problem is that they don't put any. And again, this is someone who I worked at AMC for the better part of a decade, rounding up from 9 years to 10. AMC, when they build something new, it's very nice for about 12 to 15 months. And then it becomes an existing theater instead of a new theater. And you have a maintenance budget as a manager when you're operating your theater. And your maintenance budget gets squeezed. Like if they don't give you anything for maintenance. I was working at a theater in Springfield, Virginia, and we we painted it ourselves as managers because the maintenance budget was enough to buy the gallons of paint, but not pay to have painters come in. This was a theater that had opened in the early 1980s, so it needed a lot of work. It was a General Cinemas AMC had purchased. And AMC didn't want to put any money into it because that theater was it's one of those catch 22s. You won't put money into maintenance because it's an old theater that doesn't attract people. But the reason the old theater doesn't attract people is because you don't put any money into maintenance. You've got to do one to get the other.
It's a death spiral.
Yep. So yeah, Regal calls theirs maybe Regal's is the real deal. What is it? They each have like a name for their fake IMAX where it's a very large screen. I think Regal is also the chain that has the most 4DX cinemas. 4DX is the ones where they have rumbles, the chair rumble, where they'll pump in scents to make you feel like you're in the movie and things like that to give you that 4-dimensional experience. 4DX. That's what it's like depending on the movie. It can be really good. So yes, AMC and Regal both have deals with IMAX where they have quote unquote IMAX screens, but they are not actual IMAX screens. What they are larger screens in that kind of IMAX squared off shape. So these might be, like 50-foot screens, like height wise, whereas a real IMAX is like 100 and something feet. Like if you Slender, you've been to like the Udvar Hazy like aerospace museum in Dulles, right? Yeah. So they have a real IMAX, and that theater is like friggin' gigantic. Like what Regal and AMC have that they dub IMAX is a kind of a fake knockoff. It's branded with IMAX so that it can be an IMAX screen, but it's not like real IMAX screens. There's only like a couple dozen in the United States, and they're usually in museums, but they still show regular movies because they make money that way. Sounds like a theater is like a boat. Yes. Yeah. What's
very much so.
What is it? What's the old quote? What are the two happiest days in a man's life?
The day he buys a boat and the day he sells it.
Sells that. Exactly. Let's see. Yeah, Eric's saying the 4DX is awesome. I only go to those movies since everyone pays attention and are spread apart more. It was weird seeing If in a regular theater. That show had a junior or high school day. Yeah, I mean, that is a nice thing. Like the money acts as a gatekeeper for these higher premium formats. Regular like goof off to see the movie people aren't paying that extra premium ticket price. So you get a clientele that's usually a little more interested in just watching the movie. But you're paying, it's like everything else in 21st century America. You're paying a premium for the experience. And is that fair? I don't know that it is. I don't think it's sustainable either. So yeah, the Dolby theaters have the best sound system, and they have a digital laser projector system that is pretty awesome. So they have those ones, the Dolby X, theaters. But the thing is, an IMAX or a Regal is usually going to have one of those theaters in. Like you have to retrofit. You usually have to take up 2 screens and knock them down and retrofit that space to be one of those. So they're not going to give a lot of space to those ones. So there's usually only one of those per theater. So you've got limited show times, and the price point is higher. So motion air jets of a 4DX cinema. I don't know. Yeah, if you're in a movie like Twisters, it helps. If you're in some other ones, like I guess in Top Gun, it would be interesting if you had stuff like that. But
could be.
Yeah. So I think I'm actually going to go see Venom. So I'll probably have a review. I don't know if you wanted to go too. We'll talk. See if you're interested next Thursday.
I don't remember. Probably.
Yeah, you can see if the children of Slender want to go too. Pride is always welcome too. She just usually is not feeling social. But we got her out for Beetlejuice.
If she could stop feeling sick, that'd be great. Her birthday's coming up too.
Oh, there you go.
Don't want her to be sick on her birthday.
Imp, do you have any? Are you planning? Do you have interest in seeing this?
I
next
haven't been
Venom?
to a theater since Two Towers. Why am I going to change that now?
You didn't wait. Why didn't you go see Return of the King?
Never got around to it.
Never got
Lame.
around to it.
I've seen it, just not in the theater. I didn't see
No,
Fellowship
I'm just
in the theater
I've
either.
seen it.
wait. Why did you go? Why didn't you go see like the? What were you doing in 2001 when
Going
Fellowship
to a
of the
lot
Ring?
of fucking metal shows. A lot.
A lot of metal shows from bands that no one's ever heard of.
No. People have heard a lot of the bands at the time.
At the time. You were not yet a metal hipster.
I was in my depths at that point, but it was bands like Testament and Overkill and Cannibal Corpse and a few others. Shit like that.
I just remember Fellowship of the Ring came out. It was the December of 2001. And obviously, we all remember, if we're old enough, what happened earlier, a couple months in that year. So it was like the first getting back on track, like fantasy film. Like it was perfect timing. It was a perfect movie for that. So I just have really fond memories of actually going to see Fellowship of the Ring in the theater. I can't believe you skipped it. That seems weird.
I was getting more bang for my buck going to a gig.
Movie tickets were like $7 then. $7, $8.
Still getting more bang for my buck. I was seeing anywhere from 3 to 6 bands in a given night.
The movie was almost 3
like
hours long. It was the
$15.
best value. Gee.
If I went to go see 5 bands, it was a lot longer than that, Chad.
I just
because you figure if there was 5 bands, the 2 openers got a half hour, the 2 middle acts got about 45 minutes to an hour, and the headliner got over an hour.
You know, thinking about it, the fact that the 2 Towers is probably the most straight out of a metal music video of the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, it suits you that was the movie you went and saw. You got the Berserker running in with the like gunpowder bomb. Yeah, it's very
My buddies wanted me to go to an Alamo Draft House or whatever the hell they're called to go see Vampire Hunter D&D Bloodlust in the theater. I even said no to that.
Imp's choices are valid. You're getting support. And I think we have some text to speech here. Before a little chat took us, I hadn't been to the movies since X-Men.
I don't think that's true.
Hey, welcome
I guess it depends on the X-Men, but I'm pretty sure I dragged you out to see Batman Dark Knight.
Because here's the other thing too, Chad.
Yes, sir.
I was also at the height of sailing the 7 seas at the time. Why would I go pay money for something I can acquire for free?
You mean you're not at that height now?
Look,
I'm at a different height now.
You know how I am perfectly comfortable with people Jack Sparrow-ing content.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, if there's one set of movies that genuinely is a cinematic experience.
Oh, I don't disagree.
I mean, Fellowship of the Ring, 2 Towers, and Return of the King. Seeing them in a large format, big screen with that sound system.
At the time, I wouldn't have been okay with it, but these days I have become comfortably numb.
Okay, Pink Floyd over here.
A lot of the content I like to watch, I have to get on the high seas because it's not shown here. Korean stuff and Japanese stuff.
That's also was my thing at the time because I was watching
Korean stuff like Train to Busan. I fucking love that movie.
Oh, it's one of my all-time favorite movies.
So good.
One of the few Korean things I'd seen before I really got into Korean stuff.
It came out of left field. I don't even remember why I ended up watching it, but I was like, this is freaking amazing.
Oh, great movie. brilliant movie. The Koreans do fast zombies very well.
Yes, they do.
They've got the Kingdom TV show, which is on Netflix, which is fast zombies in the Joseon era. They made the older back in a few centuries ago, and then they got Rampant, the movie, which is similar to that, but the fast zombies, never slow, always fast.
So let's see. Copied Kitty was so excited for Return of the King. Copied went alone and never goes to the movies alone. Davina thinks that Lord of the Rings movies in the theater, is that she saw them, but they were entertaining if overlong. I mean, I feel like I view them as probably one of the best adaptations because there was a lot of skipped content. And Lord of the Rings fan voice bitched about it a little bit, like the Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, you finally got Tom Bombadil. How's that working out for you?
Exactly. You shouldn't want him associated with that train wreck.
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. So like Slender says, Tom Bombadil doesn't automatically make things better. So,
God, no.
So we've got that. But yeah, so I view what Peter Jackson did. You have to adapt things. You have to make, there's always going to be a compromise when you move formats from like a book to, in this case, a trilogy of movies. I think he basically came up with the best way to adapt into a cohesive and entertaining story. I know there's people who also complain about the multiple endings of Return of the King, but he is just at that point tying up the loose threads that were present from the book, because he did. If you're Peter Jackson, this is your magnus opus. Yeah.
Well, magnum opus, but yeah. And for a movie like that, based on that story, with everybody knowing, like there's not a character in that movie that you don't get invested in. Like we're invested in Strider, we're invested in the Hobbits, we're invested in Pippin and Merrin, we're invested in Gandalf. I mean, I knew Sean Bean wasn't going to make it. Like we all knew Sean Bean.
Come on,
I was invested.
You don't have to have read the books to know that was going to happen.
No, I mean, if you see Sean Bean, you're like, oh, that guy's dead.
Yeah.
Well,
that's invested
another
in every single character. So yes, they're gonna give you a little bit of closure on where all of the characters ended up and how it all went down. And I was okay with that. As long as you only do it once. The problem now is, you got people like Amazon that are making more shit, and it's like, no, we closed this out. This is done. It's perfect. Nothing further is required.
Indeed. But those are adaptations done with love and care, as opposed to the graping of a dead corpse that Amazon are doing right now.
Yeah, we can we can use this to try and A, make money, and B, we can convert it from a great story into a vehicle by which we can push our fucking agenda.
Exactly.
Look, when Amazon decided to casually Brahma the legacy of J.R.R. Tolkien, we all knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, it was inevitable. It was going to be.
He's a grand elf, right there, Slender. He's a grand elf.
Oh, so just find him again. There's like 100 of them laying around. Fuck off. I
love the fact that they can't have certain characters interacting with other ones because it's not in the appendices that they own. And so if they did it, they would be breaking some kind of copyright thing. So some characters are just off on their own in a corner.
Did you guys see this today?
I haven't seen this. No.
You might like this, Slender. This is someone used AI to do like Tim Burton version of Lord of the Rings.
I've seen a lot of those.
That actually looks kind of cool.
It does?
Oh boy. Yeah, that
looks great.
Frodo. Gandalf.
It looks like Culture Casino.
I actually kind of like this. This actually looks kind of fucking awesome.
That looks really good.
Legolas.
See, if they made an animated thing,
that's Galadriel.
Like
yeah, and there's Vigo. There's, yep. Don't throw a dwarf.
This actually looks awesome.
Elrond.
I would fucking watch this.
King, yep. Go.
Really good.
Sauron. I like Sauron's look. It's pretty cool.
Nope, I could do with that. That's brilliant.
The ents.
No, that's
Oh.
amazing. That's really cool.
Superb.
Or
You see, if they made
Balrog.
if they'd made
Not Balrog. I think the Balrog could have been a little thicker.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nice. I've seen a lot of those on YouTube recently. People that have taken movies and done them like as if they'd been made in the 1950s in Panavision.
There's a whole YouTube
Yeah.
channel for it, and I love it.
It's great. I love those.
It's one of the best YouTube channels you can. Let's see.
YouTube channel for what?
Taking old movies and reworking them with AI to make it look like, let's say, for instance, there are 1950s Technicolor Panavision.
Oh yeah, I keep
thing.
getting a whole bunch of those when I don't realize that I'm still on Ascendant Arcade.
Hmm.
And I haven't switched back over to my my personal, my Slender Dad browsing on YouTube. So when I'm looking on Ascendant Arcade, it's always showing me the 1950s commercials for like Transformers
like
if it were a 1950s movie,
Yeah.
Avengers if it were a that Super
Here you
Panavision
go.
sent me
Awesome.
those.
Yeah, this was a Street Fighter if it was in the 1970s.
Yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, apparently the 1950s knew how to make women gorgeous because
They did. Hell,
Obviously.
even the men have got breasts in this.
I believe that
His
would
arms
be
are a bit short.
that'd be
though.
Guile.
Yeah.
Guile. Yep.
Yeah, looks a little awkward moving though.
That's not
Yeah.
so bad. But the
Yeah.
arms
M.
are-
Bison. For Bison, it was a Tuesday.
Dude, they did a really good job with the sets looking like old Chinese kung fu flick sets.
Hmm. This is fantastic. Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Oh, Ken and Ryu.
Now I will say something I have noticed. Apparently AI does not know how martial arts work. It keeps showing people like almost doing martial arts.
Yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
Which character is that?
that was
It's Blanca. We all know.
Blanca. Yeah.
Yeah. He, got lost in the Amazon and ate electric eels so much that his skin turned green, and he can now conduct electricity.
I'm really
Is that the
digging
backstory on him?
The supposed backstory is, as a kid, he was lost in the Amazon.
Yeah, that
and,
part I knew. Yeah, I
and
didn't.
he ate electric eels because they were the only thing he was able to catch.
I don't remember that part. Not saying it's
Yeah.
not the lore. I just don't remember that.
I doubt it's still the lore. It has probably been retconned, but yes,
oh no, they
way
probably
back
made
in the
if they
day, that
retconned
was
it,
the
they made it
story.
even more over the top. So
I
Yeah.
mean, let's be honest. Street Fighter, they were character cards, so they didn't have to spend that much time on
Yeah.
the lore. The fact that the Street Fighter movie tried to make some kind of coherent connective tissue to the backgrounds of these characters was like one of the more ridiculous things. I guess, and this is
this
Dalsim.
Dalsim? Yeah, this has got to be Dalsim. Want to see that stretchy arm? He's about no martial arts.
Now we're talking.
Is this our Chun-Li?
I don't know.
Yes, it is.
I was
And
thought-
There's our
Ah,
Cammy.
there's
Yeah,
Cammy.
there's Cammy.
That's Cammy. Yeah.
Cammy,
All right.
I'm sorry. Like in the fight between Cammy and Chun-Li, I vote Cammy. Cammy's best girl.
Well,
No,
Kylie
I-
Minogue was fantastic as Cammy in
I
the
vote
Street Fighter.
they have a long, sweaty wrestling session,
Preferably in mud.
preferably in mud, if not jello.
Josh Hammond's like, oh, Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that I'm gonna try to. All right, I'm translating. Is the Street Fighter is on Crunchyroll is translates
Crunchyroll.
to
That's gotta
is
be
the Street
Crunchyroll.
Fighter on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
got to be.
That's
don't
pattern
know.
recognition there.
All right,
Does
so
anyone
Shifty
remember
says
the old one?
Jury is greater than
what the
Chun-Li is
full-length
greater than
anime
Cammy.
movie?
Oh, that movie was great.
It was a
Most
really
of-
good anime.
Most
Yeah.
of the anime that they have done, not Western, but actual anime they've done for Street Fighter hasn't been half bad. Hasn't been amazing, that for original full length was, but anything since
Dude,
then
the
at least
Chun Li
decent.
fight with Vega in that anime was so good.
I do not know who these are.
I'm not sure off the top of my head either.
No, these.
No, I don't know.
Jury? Who's Jury?
Maybe that's who that was.
Newer character. I think she was introduced in 4.
Okay, yeah.
The
I don't
fits
know.
definitely look a little bit iffy when they're trying to do actual fighting stuff.
Well, like I said, they're showing a lot of what looks like they're about to do martial arts, and then they just never do the martial arts.
But the backgrounds are fantastic.
It all looked really good.
Yeah,
It's
really
pretty. It's fun to look at.
That's one of the things I like about the old Shaw Brothers movies is all the little sound stages they would use for the backgrounds.
Yeah.
All right, so this whole channel, which is has fun stuff. We've got Mortal Kombat, Panavision, X-Men from the 1950s, Shrek if it was 1950s.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these.
The Matrix 1950s, Star Wars 50s, Alien 50s.
The Alien one's good. I've watched that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched one where they did one for the Jetsons. If the Jetsons was a 1950s movie, it was so funny.
I'm trying to let's see. You got King Godzilla vs Kong. I mean, they kind of did do those ones in.
Yeah, some of these are no longer like some of these are actual real movies now.
Here you go. This is another this is their version of Lord of the Rings as a 1950s Super Panavision.
I like the fact they've even worked in the scratches on the film.
I mean, you can definitely tell it's AI, but
yeah, like when his eyelids fuse.
Yeah.
Man, this looks very Kroll the Conqueror at this point.
You mean Kull the Conqueror?
Kull the Conqueror. Yeah, I always mix them up.
Kroll was the
Chad
with
can
the,
tell
with the
you all
movie
about
with
that.
the fancy pants.
I'd never seen that movie, and he made me go see it. And I was like, "This is
for
really
Chad.
good."
Yeah,
I was loving it. Until they showed me a giant spider, and I was like, "I didn't need that in my fucking life." Thanks, Chad.
Well, the Widow of the Web can't be the Widow of the Web without a spider.
It could have been like a hot girl, like they did in Shadow of Mordor.
That's right. They did that.
Yeah, they decided that Shelob was going to be a hot girl instead of a spider for some reason.
The funny thing is, they're showing all these cool things of what a 1950s Lord of the Rings would have looked like, but we saw the level of effects it would have had. The best we could have got was Never Ending Story is what the level of effects would have looked like. So these wolves and things would have looked like it would have been. That's what you would have got. So this stuff does look a little fancier than probably what you're getting.
Well,
in the
indeed,
1950s.
if you look back at the 50s science fiction and horror movies, that's the level of effects you would have gotten.
Dude, some of those were pushing the envelope though with the stop motion.
But they still look like
the Ray Harryhausen.
Harryhausen.
Yeah.
The crazy stop motion claymation, like with the giant Cyclops fights and stuff. Those were cool.
Look at the special effects they had in Forbidden Planet.
Yeah,
that looks like that crap's pretty badass there.
Forbidden Planet is what you would have got effects wise if you made this movie.
That looks more like a crab.
That looks like a crab than a spider. Which, by the way, actually probably is how it would have come out in the 1950s. They would have been like, "What?
Probably.
Can we make it work? Just do a crab. It's sort of a spider."
Dude, that reminds me of. I don't remember what the movie was, but it was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 where there was a giant spider, and they made the joke that it was a giant Volkswagen bug. And then
there was a couple ones they did with spiders.
It is a Volkswagen bug that they just put giant legs on. And then they're just shooting it in dark places so you can't tell.
Trying to think of what they were. Was it them? Or something?
No, it wasn't them. Them was the one with the ants.
That was the ants.
Yeah, MST3K did it 2 or 3 different movies involving giant spiders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Incredible
And they were
Shrinking Man had a
all
big
bad.
spider. Incredible Shrinking Man had a giant spider at the end. Except it wasn't a giant one, it was a normal sized one. It's just he was very small. Because he was shrinking.
Giant Spider Invasion from 1975. Could easily be renamed to the disguised Volkswagen attack because the huge spiders are in fact VW Beetles covered with sheets and legs, with the headlights functioning as the eyes.
There was Tarantula in 1955. Then there was one called The Spider in 1958. And then Earth versus the Spider. Tarantula is probably the one I was thinking of. I've seen a few times. They were good when you saw it. I used to watch those on TV in the 60s and 70s.
Eric Myers, I am with you. I really liked Soul Calibur. I remember playing that at the arcade and thinking it was just amazing because it's like finally a game where instead of just beating the shit out of each other, they're actually using swords and shit. And you can actually, move in 4 directions instead of just left and right. And there were ring outs and stuff. I really liked the Soul Calibur series. It was really good. Played the shit out of those games.
Have you watched any of the new anime this season? Or do you wait and watch it?
I binge everything I watch that's seasonal. The only thing I'm planning on watching is, I don't know why, I already know I'm going to be probably yelling at my TV at it. The Gundam that's on Netflix.
Not Shangri-La Frontier, which Slender got me to watch, and now I'm
Shangri-La
If Slender got you to watch, if Slender got you to watch it, I probably wouldn't touch it with a 30-foot pole.
Why would you? Shangri-La Frontier is just a guy playing a VR game. It's pretty awesome.
It's fucking great.
And he's a very he's a like, how do I put this? He reminds me kind of like you. He's really he's very
he likes finding the exploits.
Well, he finds the exploits and the bugs so he can do all sorts of silly stuff in games.
Let's put it this way: when you say you got an anime recommended to you by Slender, you really need to specify what it is.
It's
one of these days one of you two are gonna trick me to watch some saccharine.
Here's what it is, Imp. I'll give you a description. It's Sword Art Online without them getting trapped in the world. They're just literally playing the fucking game. They never get trapped in the world. It's never life or death stakes. They just really like the game.
Okay.
So yeah, this is, and he wears a little bird mask the whole time, which is it's a level 1 mask that everybody gets, and he just wears it to, because he's like, look at you, and it's funny, they have him like putting in his stats, so he's like, he puts all his stuff into agility, luck, and it's funny. So it's called Shangri-La Frontier. What I was going to say is the one that's interesting to me that is kind of weird, and I feel like this one is going to end up getting a lot of hot takes for it. Is called Suma Show.
Okay.
Grieving for his
Dan to Dan. That one's gonna have some hot takes by the time it's done.
Already has.
So yeah. So but
I mean, it's got really good Fooly Cooly vibes though. So I've been watching it. I've been keeping up on that one.
But look, the description: grieving his wife, Keisuke finds hope when someone shows up at his door claiming to be her reincarnation.
Well,
boy!
She's hot, just accept her.
I don't think is she a kid?
She's a 10-year-old kid because his wife died 10 years ago.
Nope.
No, but it's
nope. We're not gonna watch that.
I've watched it.
I have a question.
It is not actually what you think,
because it's more of a comedy.
It is sort of, but it's actually basically she becomes a grief counselor to get them to move on because she had a child. Like they were married, had a kid. The kid's now in her early 20s because it's been 10 years since she died, and she's getting them to move on to help him find another woman to be his wife as an adult, to get her daughter to get a job and actually stop being a shut-in who's just stuck in grief. But it's done comedically, like they always do in the anime.
Yeah, I
But
don't know.
it's
That's still weird.
I trust me, because I didn't watch it until like I watched some of the anime reviewers who were like, look, it's not going to go in the direction you think.
Thank God.
Thank God. Because it's not like we haven't had stuff like that happen in anime, like where there's been shows where someone was raising a kid and then skip a few years.
Yeah, well,
we do. Yeah.
So
the ones I've been into recently, in addition to Dan, I've been watching The Strongest Mage in the Demon Lord's Army is a Human. Watching that one subtitled because I'm trying to get back in shape, so I've been doing a lot of exercising. So while I'm listening to my workout music, I will watch the subtitled anime. And then the other one is Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian.
That's funny. I like that.
Pretty fucking cute. I like that one.
To Eric, who says like Ready Player One, because when we were talking about the VR gaming, if you wanted something that was and this is, I know, I'm hoping that Im doesn't go nuts when I say this, because I'm going to say you should watch Sword Art Online.
I don't dislike Sword Art Online. It just got stupid after like the first half of the first season.
I liked the Gun Gale.
This is the thing a lot of people who don't watch anime don't realize. Ready Player One, not an original fucking story. Not even fucking close.
And honestly, if you're going to want to watch something that's like a VR type thing, watch Dot Hack over that. Dot Hack
was really good. Not the best ending though.
No. Dot Hack was really good. Overlord is pretty decent, and I actually really like Log Horizon.
I mean,
I would really like if Overlord would hurry up and make the next fucking season, because I love that show.
Go back.
I told you I'm going to start at the top. Here we go, because this is the season. This is the because anime's done seasonally. So we've got the returning
but
ones.
unlike American releases, like just because anime had a season this year doesn't mean they're getting one next year or the year after or the year after. You might have to wait a decade for season 2.
In some cases, yeah.
The devil is a part-timer. I'm looking at you.
and they wasted all their momentum. I'm going to tell you, man. Season 3 so far of ReZero has been hardcore and is awesome. It's all
I haven't watched any of it.
Action. Yeah,
I still don't like ReZero. I fucking hate the main character. He sucks.
I think it's good.
Subaru is actually a bitch. Great. Okay, and Subaru is a fucking bitch.
This is Slender's new favorite right now.
Don't say it's my favorite. It's weird. I haven't decided if I like it or not.
But you keep recommending it, but you're telling me you haven't decided if you like it.
Like I said, it has a lot of Fooly Cooly vibes. And if you know anything about Fooly Cooly and you like Fooly Cooly, you'll like this. Because it's weird and it's really absurd and crazy and out there. And I like that.
You want to give a brief explainer for like 70s, who probably
okay, 70s. Main protagonists are a guy and a girl. The guy believes in aliens, but not ghosts. The girl believes in ghosts, but not aliens. So they do a mutual dare where she's going to a haunted building where there's lots of UFO activity reported, and he's going to a haunted tunnel where there's lots of ghost activity reported. And he gets possessed by a ghost, and she gets abducted by aliens. But he gets possessed by like a horny grandma ghost who eats his private parts, and she will continue to possess him and control him until he can get his private parts back, apparently. And aliens.
It's a metaphor for marriage, then.
Yeah, well, and the aliens are from a race that has no females, so they have to breed with her and then steal her what they call banana parts for research so they can try and save their species. And then he, as a possessed ghost, fights the aliens to save her. And she uses her medium powers to suppress his possession so that he's not always a ghost monster.
So there's nothing complex then.
All right, so
that's so simple. It's so easy to follow.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
So for Eric's chat, I really like anime style, but hopefully this won't banish me from the chat. And that I almost always need a dub. I tried subs, but I couldn't make it. So Slender is on your board.
Will give you a groan on that one, but Eric, you're right. Dubs are better.
I never watch anything in dubs. I always watch subtitles.
The problem with
I like to hear the original voices.
The problem with
I
dubs
don't, because I think the original voices are like the original voice actors for a lot of anime.
Yeah, you're gonna hate me for this one, Slender, but you know which voice actor I did not fucking like that was English? The guy who did Roy Mustang. If you try to say
Spike Spiegel, I will fight you.
No. That's one of the very few dubs I would watch, actually.
Okay.
The guy who
I'm
did
talking
Roy
about
Mustang.
live action, of course. Anime may be different.
Oh, you don't like the guy who did Mustang?
No, the Japanese voice is so much better.
Shifty over here with a wholesome chat of I only watch good wholesome anime like Bible Black.
For everyone else in the chat, do not go look up that anime.
That is an
it's not
H
even anime. That's the
Black
other
Sabbath.
category.
It's an H style show.
Yeah, that's not okay.
That is definitely what NSFW. No, don't want. Nope. So
not suitable for wankers.
But yeah, I disagree with a lot of people on this, and it may just be because I don't understand the language well enough. But when I listen to the Japanese voice actors, I'm like, holy shit, try hard, overact much. Because they just I don't know, they sound like they're overacting every fucking time. They scream everything too loud. Like they don't act like normal human beings.
You know that sometimes when people laugh at something and it inadvertently lets you know stuff that you're not sure how to react. This thing with Copied Kitty, where she's like Bible Black, laughing it's like, huh?
It's almost like she knows about that. Oh, just heard about it. He did copy.
Look what it did for Bride of Slender. Oh my god.
I'm assuming it's got nothing to do with the Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell song.
Never saw it, just heard about it. No, it is a.
I'm looking it up now.
Don't. No.
You better be doing that in incognito.
Yeah,
holy shit!
I don't want you to have a heart attack live on
I'm
air.
going to download this. Holy, yeah.
70s is like I feel it's important that I don't have any cultural blind spots. I need to make sure.
Well,
dude, I can't. 70s, you just entered a whole different world.
I'm not going to be judgmental about it.
If
these girls want to parade around in that kind of gear, fine.
Dude, to quote the second installment of World of Warcraft, you are not prepared.
Yeah, no shit.
This looks quite good.
Oh my god, I don't know if that's better or worse. I did see review of Healer though. Whoa.
I'm assuming there's only girls in the show.
Eric Myers, this is going to be Streisand effect now. I don't look what happens to you guys in chat that you look up.
Yeah.
I just
this
recommend
has nothing to do with us. Ascendant Art does not endorse these recommendations.
No, we make recommendations. No, we make recommendations of wholesome anime shows. I was like,
no, let's not go with that because
like Dangers in My Heart, which is just
yes, Dangers of My Heart is like the greatest. It is diabetes. It is. Oh my god, it's mainline, man. It's like sugar.
It did. It gave me type 2. I can't eat sugar anymore because of that show.
The Bible Black looks like a lot of games that you see on Steam.
I mean, if it depends on what part of Steam you're navigating to. Learning a lot of things about people both on the panel and in the chat tonight.
If you let the adult filter, don't take the adult filter off, you get games like that on Steam.
and nobody asked why I know what everybody's talking about because it was purely for research purposes, I swear.
And Chad, you can't say we only give wholesome recommendations because you know damn well half my recommendations are going to be far from that.
That's true.
Dude, in hindsight, I'm probably lucky I still watch anime because one of the first anime that I was exposed to when I was a teenager was Ninja Scroll.
There's nothing wrong with Ninja Scroll for fuck's
There's a lot wrong with Ninja Scroll, Imp.
No, there really isn't.
So I'm just looking at the new season. 365 days to the wedding seems like something that Slender will watch once the
I was
dub
gonna say
drops.
that looks up my alley. I'll probably be watching that.
The story concept is that these two protagonists work at a travel agency, which is opening up a satellite office in Alaska. And they're going to send the unmarried people there instead of the married
So
people.
they're trying to get married so they don't have to go to Alaska?
Yes, so they're gonna because they're the two of the unmarried people in the office. So
They
they're gonna.
don't know what they're missing.
Yeah,
Alaska
so
would be great.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
fiber optic up there.
You should ask Bride of Slender. She's from Canada, which is next to Alaska.
Yeah, she's basically she's Alaska adjacent.
Yeah. Let's see. Standard magical girl one. I don't do magical.
So there's been a bunch of Journey to the West enemies.
Wait. After school Hanako-kun. I bet you my daughters will be watching. At least one of my daughters, because that looks like it's a follow-up to Toilet Bound Hanako or whatever.
Yeah, he returns with new
school.
episodes in this anime adaptation of the beloved spinoff.
Yeah.
So it looks like it is a sequel series.
Yeah, one of my daughters loves that show.
Yeah, so this is another journey to the west. I guess it's a follow Wu Chang on his own legendary.
Why are you coming out here? I didn't say anything, okay? It wasn't me. I just went along with the bit. Chad initiated the bit. I had nothing to do with it.
She did point out that Alaska is the best.
The best.
Yes, and then she came out here and gave me a dirty look like I said she was from Canada.
The best what?
The best at being next door to Canada, where she's from.
She didn't complete the sentence.
Yeah. Ari, I can never say this, but I like this.
Ari Ferretta?
Ari Ferretta, yeah. Okay. The season 3 is coming out there. If you like top-notch waifu designs, that's a good show.
Looks like it. Yeah.
That's the bunny girl waifu right there. Which is funny because in this show, the protagonist taught the peaceful bunny people tribe to become vicious killers to defend themselves.
Rock and
it's
roll.
so like the opening sequence
I
of
think
this
I have watched that now that you say that. I was like, I don't know if I've watched Ari Ferretta. And then I'm like, wait, no.
It's got a dub. You've watched it. Yeah, it's a great one. It's one of the great so there's a whole genre of isekai, or even not just isekai, but fantasy anime where it's person betrayed comes back overpowered and takes like either indifferent revenge or becomes an anti-hero. And this is one of the good ones on that.
Yeah, because I don't remember which one it was. I think Bride was watching it, but there was one where like dude fell to the bottom of the dungeon and he started eating monsters to survive.
That's this one.
Okay. His hair turns white and he makes himself magic guns.
Yeah, he becomes super edgelord. Like,
oh yeah, dude, that guy is very edgelord.
Like he's the final form of the edgelord.
Yeah.
Is he the one with the eye patch?
Yes, that's right. He lost. Yeah, he loses one of his eyes and replaces it with a magic eye because that's what they always do.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, there's a part. So 70s. There's a part where because he's from Earth and he's been isekai.
Yeah, Bride likes Ari Ferretta.
Yeah.
She loves her some edgelords, apparently.
Yeah. So he creates rods from God as a weapon. Like tungsten rods that he drops from orbit.
Nice.
It's because so he's fighting a dragon. And so he ends up beating the dragon, and to get information out of the dragon, he takes the rod and puts it up somewhere in
remember this.
in the back zone, and proceeds to keep moving it forward until the dragon provides information and surrenders. It turns out that the dragon can turn into a female human form, and he has basically broken the dragon into being a masochist. It's hilarious. It's
anime, ladies and gentlemen.
Anime. It's funny. So yeah. So that one is, if you like edgelord kind of revenge story, that one's good. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Blue Lock, but I've never really watched the sports anime.
Yeah, it's about soccer. So
I'm gonna stick with Haikyuu, and there's another soccer one that I liked, but I forget what it's called. Blue Exorcist was pretty good back in the day. I haven't watched any of the newer stuff.
This is another one of the newer seasons or continuations of that. So there's
Dan to Dan. Dan to Dan.
A new season
of Demon Lord 2029 or Demon Lord Retry.
Demon Lord Retry R is the second season of Demon Lord Retry. It's another isekai into the video game world where the developer becomes the Demon Lord. It's I mean, I would say just go watch Overlord. That's the best.
Overlord is so good.
Overlord or Log Horizon.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another one I've kind of been enjoying was what is it? It's about being a playtester who got stuck in another world. So he's a bug hunter. He goes and tries to find the bugs in the game and makes his reports to the devs. It was kind of interesting. Playtesting in another world or something like that.
Mad Shizmo says Alaska is more Canada than it is America. Ooh.
Don't.
And then follow that up with how much longer do I have to wait until they highlight my comment and I can go back to sleep?
We have highlighted your comment. You can go back to sleep.
Okay, so dumb American question. What does isekai mean? All right, so isekai is the Japanese word for another world, like another planet. So because it's so frequently used as a design element where a human from Earth gets reincarnated or summoned to another, usually a fantasy world.
Yeah.
The entire genre is just called isekai because you would always have a character saying, I'm on another planet. And in Japanese, it's isekai, like I'm on an isekai, like another world. So isekai is the genre name for another world. There's also reverse isekai where people come to Earth, which one is that Slender got me to watch, which was a great one, was called The Devil is a Part-Timer. He mentioned it earlier.
I do like The Devil is a Part-Timer.
That's a story where and they call everything is so Demon Lord is just again you'll hear it used a lot in anime because it's just a Japanese translation for a demon, like you'll hear the words Mao or Satan because those have become internalized for
so they
Japan.
Could be completely different properties, but they've got the same name.
Yeah, so they'll just call it Demon Lord is just powerful bad leader, demon leader or something. So in this case, in Devil is a Part-Timer, the big boss Demon Lord gets sent to Earth, and so he gets a job at a McDonald's as a fry cook.
He loses the war against the humans, and he and his general flee to our world. And then they get stuck here because our world doesn't have magic, so they no longer have the ability to open a portal to the other side.
Yeah, Eric's giving the thumbs up. And Eric, the standard way that you get delivered into the other world is called truck-kun, which is...
because so many isekais start with the main character getting run over by a truck for some reason.
Usually it's the main character saving someone, like pushing a little girl or a person out of the way of the truck, so they end their life on a
unless
karmic
it's Saga of Tanya the Evil, and then it starts with the young man getting pushed onto the train tracks because he fired a guy.
Oh yeah, Saga of Tanya the Evil is one of my favorites, where it's basically a guy is pissed off and denies the existence of God as he's talking to God in the afterlife.
Yeah, and then God's like, okay, fine. The only way you can use your magic powers now is if you pray to me while using them.
Yeah, so he reincarnates this middle-aged salaryman into a little girl in what is roughly the equivalent of World War I Europe, and he's a German soldier.
World War I Europe.
Yeah, where he's fighting as a German soldier, and he knows because he's studied history. Like, oh, I know how this is gonna go. I need, like, if I don't want to get killed,
we're gonna lose.
I need to win the war. And they use magic. It's a really funny show because, like Slender said, Tanya is constantly talking down and berating God as Tanya also has to pray to God to get her power up.
Yeah, being X as he calls him. No, I'd like to see another season of that one because, like, I think there's a redemption arc there, and I'm hoping like Tanya the Evil eventually becomes Tanya the Not So Evil.
I mean, as we saw in Isekai Quartet, she's works well with others.
I do like Isekai Quartet too. That's a fantastic little show.
Yeah. Goodbye Dragon Life is a standard reincarnation, just trying to live a chill life in the farm, so he's going to end up fighting, obviously. I'll become a villainous who goes down in history. It is now another standard anime where there's people trapped in what's called an otome game, which is a dating simulator.
Dude, that has become a series. Like, that's as big as Isekai nowadays. I think that's the girl version of
it.
Isekai.
Is the girl. So yeah, the isekais are usually,
instead of being sent to another world where I'm going to be a badass who lives a power fantasy, I get sent to another world and become a badass who dates all the boys.
Who inadvertently makes a reverse harem. Usually, they get the reverse harem is getting all of the boys. Like all the boys belong to them.
The sad thing is they're close enough to a formula that really resonates with me that I've watched like all of those. I've watched all of them. I'll tame the final boss.
Raylena ended up in the dude's mansion.
In the dude's mansion? Yep. I've watched all of them.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought the one where I forget where she was so ditzy she didn't realize that even the girls were falling in love with her. and she was just completely aloof. It was funny. It made me laugh. So if you like that trope, you'll probably like it. This is the one I think is perfect for Slender, which is let this grieving soul retire.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one.
So the concept for this one is that this dude in the center is a completely underpowered guy, and all of his childhood friends are super overpowered. When they were kids, they all agreed to form an adventuring party and become the best there was. And on their first time, when they're finally doing it, he realizes, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm going to die. So he immediately tells them, I'm out. Peace out. I don't have the skills. You guys are great. I'll support you from the sideline and cheer you on, but this is not for me. And his childhood friends are like, look at him being so humble. We're going to make you the leader of the party now. And he just keeps getting sucked into being the guy. And he's got no powers. He's constantly trying to just let him retire, and they won't let him do it. It's been funny so far, and I think Slender will actually really like it. Let's see.
It's on my watch list.
I think it's going to get a dub. No, it looks.
If it's not, then as soon as I finish the strongest mage in the Demon Lord's army is a human, I'll move on to that one, and it'll just be one of those ones I watch while I'm exercising.
I haven't watched Love Live Superstar. I guess that's clearly an idol show from the title.
There's a running trope in anime right now, making the title as long as humanly possible for some reason. So
it's kind of always been really like that. It's just getting really bad right now.
Yeah, well, it's always been like that, but it has literally become a trope at this point. Like they're trying to make longer titles.
If we can find a super long title for you.
Like one of the first was one of my favorite mangas that I actually read the books before
Which
I saw
one?
the anime.
No, the Kenshin one.
Which was
go back down to R.
What is it?
There we go.
Genshiken was the name of the show.
I love the movies, but I've never seen any of the animes.
The anime's fucking terrible. Don't.
I
know a lot of people like it, but it sucks.
Yeah, it like the first half is like this quirky, goofy character version of him, and then the second half it actually picks up and starts getting serious. But by then it's too late.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll skip it.
I never got to the second half. I remember that
one of the animated movies was actually pretty decent.
Like I thought the Samurai X movie was really good, but I hated Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah,
I love the live action movies. I mean, I thought they were great.
I think those were based around the Samurai X OVAs.
They were.
So Copy Kitty's right. Don't judge an anime by its title. Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. Let's see. Bad take. But on your recommendation, I watched the first couple episodes of Ghost Stories. That one is ridiculous.
Yeah, dub.
Ghost Stories.
Yeah. Where they were just
that infamous dub.
Yeah,
where they didn't have a script and they pretty much ad-libbed the entire thing, and it was
it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
You've never seen Ghost Stories? You should watch that one. It is crazy. Let's see. Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online 2. I liked that one. It was basically a first-person shooter. Sword Art. If you guys, I think it was the second season of Sword Art Online, not the second core of the
over
first
on the right,
season.
you've got one of those titles. The healer who was banished from his party is, in fact, the strongest.
He's got 2 commas in the title.
Yeah. And the one I want to watch in the middle, the do-over damsel conquers the dragon emperor. That sounds up my alley.
Oh, where the little girl ends up. Yeah. I just can't stand when it's so I need, if I'm watching one of these, like especially if it's like an Otome one, Otome,
yeah,
Otome. I need that girl to age up fast because I'm not. I was like, I don't want this to be any kind of lolly thing. I need her to get into her late teens or early 20s. Like, do the time jump by the second or third episode. Let's do this thing. I don't know.
Oh, then you probably wouldn't like one of the, because you know you haven't watched as many as I have. But if you like the really wholesome ones, Toradora is really good too.
Oh, okay.
So add that to your list.
So Eric, you'll end up. There's going to be a shorthand title. That one's the long one. So this one will be probably shortened to just the healer who is in fact the strongest.
Or it'll be who was banished.
Yeah, it'll get shortened. What was the
wrong way to use healing magic,
which was a good
like
show.
that one too. Yeah, I hope that one gets another season.
All right, like here's another one. The most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. You haven't watched that one probably. I recommend. I think the first couple episodes you'll get hooked, Slender, the way this guy does, because
you know what I'm waiting for another season of is Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Did you ever watch that one?
Which one was that one?
It was the one where the evil organization had taken over the world. So the heroes were still fighting to take the world back. So they sent one of their agents, one of their worst agents, and an android girl to another planet to get prepped to take over that planet in case the Earth thing didn't work out.
Oh, you did get me to watch that one. I liked it.
Yeah, and in one of the very first episodes, the android girl is like, I can fix your ancient technology that makes rain. And it has a computer voice that asks for a new password because she's basically doing a password reset. And the dude who is evil and gets points for being evil is like, I've got it. The new password is Dick Festival. And she's like, why would you name? And he's like, think about it. Every time the royalty comes out here and does the ceremony to make it rain, they have to say Dick Festival. And then his little bracer is like, you've gained evil points.
What's the other one? Is the cautious hero is overpowered?
I do like the cautious hero is overpowered.
Yeah, that one is another funny one about that. But let's see. Trillion Game, interesting sounding.
Yeah, that one I saw it earlier. I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, so this is two schoolmates who just, one is a schmoozing smooth talker and one's a computer developer. They decide that they want to get together and make $1 trillion. That's their goal, is to just make $1 trillion.
Copied Kitty, I watched Samurai Champloo probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that one wasn't bad.
It's very good. Very, very, very good.
Bebop's better. It's same guy.
I think there's a live action Trillion game as well.
All right. Tying the knot with an Amagami sister. This is another genre straight out of like the quintessential quintuplets, where you've got a...
I liked the quintessential quintuplets.
Of course, it's a wholesome romantic comedy.
Yeah, you know what I'm not seeing in the current lineup that's really depressing?
A Gundam show?
Any mecha.
They just did like 2 or 3 last season.
Yeah, but if you think about it, 80s and 90s, there was more than
what
just
are you
a couple every other season.
I can't hear you when you stand on the other side of the sliding glass door and say you're watching it right now. What are you watching right now? Samurai Champloo. Yeah.
Okay. I think if that's just a function, I mean, mecha anime has been in decline.
Really, I don't know.
Since,
it has, because even I, as much as I enjoyed it, I still say the decline started with Evangelion.
What was that?
That was like a whole era of
mid-90s, right?
Bullshit.
Late 90s.
I didn't like a lot of those ones that some people hold up as like the shining example of great anime from back in the day. Like I didn't like the original Ghost in the Shell. I didn't like Akira. I didn't like Evangelion. I don't like any of those fucking shows.
Why do I game with you?
Davina is apparently agreeing with you here.
Nowhere else to go.
Davina also says, I didn't like Neon Genesis Evangelion.
I didn't like a lot of those old ones. Like
the fact that you don't like Akira, Evangelion, fine, whatever. That's a hit or miss with a lot of people. But Akira, the original Ghost in the Shell.
No, I didn't like the original. I actually liked the second Ghost in the Shell. I didn't like the first.
Okay.
I don't know. I just maybe I was too young to follow Ghost in the Shell when I watched it.
Here you go.
I was like 13.
Imp, you'll like this one. Didn't like Ghost in the Shell. I know nothing about anime, and I liked it. Yeah, Ghost in the Shell is one of the pillars of generally like Akira, Ghost in the Shell. Let's see. I mean, I know Cowboy Bebop would be in that group. It's a little later, but it's still one of the pillars of the modern.
I mean, I love Cowboy Bebop. I love Record of Lodoss War. I didn't like Berserk.
Yeah, well,
Berserk's anime adaptations are so all over the place. You can't really. I mean, Berserk as source material. I don't understand why. I mean,
I liked Vampire Hunter D, but I think Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust was 1,000 times better.
It was also like 20 years apart.
I also think that Vampire Hunter D, as much as I love it, I think part of it is because when I saw it, it was on, I think when Sci-Fi was doing the dubs, when they would air it.
For the longest time, you could only get D as a dub.
Yeah, I don't think it's a great dub.
No, it's not.
It hadn't quite figured out dubbing yet.
No, so I feel like
the old Fist of the North Star movie.
That was a classic 80s dub right there. I like Fist of the North Star, but holy crap.
Fisting what?
Fist of the North Star.
You should actually see the TV series of that, Slender.
I mean, Fist of the North Star is kind of in the same boat as Ninja Scroll. Like, don't get me wrong, Ninja Scroll is really good. But holy crap, man. Like, it's hard to watch because some of the fucked up shit that happens in that anime.
That's really tame by a lot of other even ninja animes. And no, I'm not counting Naruto amongst that.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know I've seen more than one of those weird ninja animes, but I was unaware that ninjas had like weird sex magic.
Yeah, actually.
There's a
What the live action Trillion game is on Netflix. So I might
did they already? Yeah,
the live action one. Yeah, not the manga, not the anime, but the live action one is. So I might watch that.
I was gonna say what is crazy to me, and we talked about how it's like Slender brought up how there was like 10 years between Devil as a Part-Timer season 1 and season 2. That show was super popular. It had source material where they had chapters to adapt, and they just took forever to do it. And then on the other hand, you have something like Fairy Tail, which is still going. I thought we were finally done with it.
A lot of them lose me because of that. Like, I used to really love Inuyasha, but there's like so many fucking episodes. I just got sick of it.
That's what happens though with a lot of those long-running like shonen types. The anime outpaces the manga.
And this is why I could never do the shonen anime. They're always so damn long. It's like, dude, I really liked the first season. I think it was the first 2 seasons of Bleach. Then I didn't like Bleach anymore.
two problems I had with Bleach was there was too much filler, but at least now you can go online and find out what's filler and what's not. And in that case, it was entire seasons of filler, not individual episodes.
Oh,
yeah,
you mean
like when they
Dragon? Are
introduced
we
the
talking
bounce,
about?
which were basically just Pokemon in the Bleach lore.
Yeah.
I was about to say filler. Are we talking about Dragon Ball, where they just? Oh my god, they stretch stuff out.
They stretched that one. Another one that did that, where I really loved the show, but it started to lose me because of how long it went on. What the fuck was it? I lost it. Come back
One
to me later.
Piece?
No, not
One
One Piece. I fucking hated One Piece from day one. I hate
All right,
that art
I was
style.
gonna say we've hit the phase where Ambien Tina is saying things that she probably shouldn't in chat.
Can
Apparently,
confirm the ninja sex
sex-
magic. Okay.
It's what is it? The Sheldon Cooper joke. Heroes got progressively worse until we were happy it ended. Yeah, I guess sometimes the animes just go on like too long. Fairy Tale. I've never gotten the appeal for Fairy Tale.
Yeah, Fairy Tale never did it for me. It just couldn't.
And there's One Piece. Like, if you wanted to try to catch up on One Piece, it's like 1,000 episodes. Like, no,
one of the ones I really liked back in the day, Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I fucking loved Yu-Gi-Oh! I was like, holy shit, man! They turned Magic the Gathering into an anime. This is awesome. And then I had the first 52 episodes on DVD, which takes it all the way through the tournament where he fights Pegasus at the end. Then it goes into kind of a filler season where he's doing dungeon dice with some dude, and then it's kind of over. But like, there's like 4 to 8 more Yu-Gi-Oh series out there that have spun off of that, and I'm just like, stop.
Anytime
enough.
Konami would
We're good.
release another Yu-Gi-Oh project of some kind, be it a video game or another version of the card game or whatever,
yeah,
they're gonna release a new anime for it.
Yeah.
So also someone over here saying Fairy Tale is fun. Fairy Tale is like the 7 Deadly Sins. It just, they keep making new seasons, and I personally am like, why
thought the 7 Deadly Sins was that good. I watched it.
No.
I didn't hate it, but like, it's so forgettable. It's just another fucking shonen.
I just don't get why I can't get more seasons of why can't I get more seasons of Gate when they're making this again and again
what
and
the
again?
kids are watching.
Yeah.
Chad.
I mean, you're not wrong about the shonen statement. I've been saying that for years. It's like, oh, it's just another shonen. Because at this point, they're kind of all the same.
They're extremely formulaic.
They are. That's why the ones that I do like are some of the OG ones.
I am just happy that on Netflix they did finally bring back Kinnikuman. That's a good one. If anyone wants to watch that one on Netflix. They even gave you an episode 0, Ultimate Muscle.
Yes.
Yeah. Because Kinnikuman means muscle. It means muscle man. If you guys remember in the 80s.
Another season of How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift?
Yeah, I know. It's a great show. But if you guys remember in the 80s, they had the Muscle Man toys, the little 2.5-inch little rubber.
Awesome one. You need to leave. Yeah. I don't want you here anymore.
Gate is boring. The idea of I love watching modern military, and watching modern military just fuck shit up in a fantasy world is always entertaining. Like when you see a special forces team, drop in and they're like, we're gonna take, they're up against a cavalry of hundreds of people, and they're just pop 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 pop. It's just
we have helicopters. Fuck your
dragons. What are they doing? They're shooting the officers. Yes. They're taking out the officers first.
Did either of you guys watch Drifters?
No.
It was done by the guy who did Hellsing.
Interesting.
I did like Hellsing.
And it's I guess you could say it's an say it's a kind of isekai because they're pulling historical figures from our universe to another at their time of death.
Yeah, I remember
in
this.
history. So the main characters that are the good guys are one's Oda Nobunaga, and they're considering him a good guy.
Yeah, I think Bride was watching this.
It's really good. I want them to do a second season, but I think they're I don't know if he's got it done and he's just being, an artiste, or they're scared about people getting pissed off at him for revealing who the big bad is. Because there's a couple hints leaning that it's, Jesus.
Well, also one saying I don't like the new season of Muscleman, as in you don't like the new one, the Perfect Origin arc that's airing on Netflix. I mean, it's classic Kinnikuman.
I
don't know what. If you didn't like Kinnikuman, then yeah, that's fine. But it is what it's what I've wanted for 40 years since I moved from Japan. So. I mean, that show's so good. They even have a guy.
I do gotta ask, and maybe Im can clear this one up. Is Hellsing got the Full Metal Alchemist treatment, right? Like, there's two different versions of Hellsing out there.
Yeah, there's Hellsing just by itself,
right?
And that's manga like.
And
then there's Hellsing Ultimate, which is the manga.
Okay.
So yeah, like you said, it's a Full Metal Alchemist thing. Hellsing Ultimate's a lot better. Lot better.
I'll probably have to go watch that then, because I liked Hellsing. But
hey, nothing like seeing Dracula
really
kill a whole army of zombie fucking Nazis. Or
I do remember the zombie Nazi fight. I didn't see that in Hellsing Ultimate. I saw that in an AMV, and I was like, "That's fucking badass." I don't remember this in Hellsing.
Yeah, and it's also the last few episodes are really kind of fucked up, but in a cool way.
Okay, I might have to check it out.
Yeah, so that covers pretty much, at least on Crunchyroll, which has most. It's like 90% of the new anime coming out each season.
Nice.
So now 70s is still like, all right, I'm in the process of getting episodes of Bible Black. I'll be out for
downloading all of Bible Black and Bible Black Revival and Bible Black 2 and 3 and 12.
The Copied Kitty did point out a show called Mongolian Chop Squad, which I'm going to watch. So apparently it's about a Mongolian heavy metal band, but it's a Japanese show. So looking forward to that.
I can't believe Slender got me to watch a friggin' anime about zombie idol girls in a band.
Oh, that was such a good anime, wasn't it? She got immediately obliterated by a truck, and then she got resurrected as a zombie to be part of an idol band that a necromancer was trying to make.
Several
people wonder why I watch mecha shows. Jesus Christ.
It was so funny, though.
Don't get more simpler than giant robots blowing shit up.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, you're not wrong. Love me some giant robots. Amazing.
One of my favorites is Full Metal Panic.
Yeah,
Slender's determined to not let you talk, Chad.
Back to Chad's age concern. That one wonderful Precure looks severely in lolly territory if it wasn't for the kids. You got all right. So there's, I guess, and good for Japan if they're comfortable with it. There is a group of people that are perfectly fine with that design. Doesn't do anything for me. I wish that most of the shows didn't have it, because it's not something I like seeing. But at the same time, I'm not going to bitch and make Japan stop being Japan, because I feel like if you start dictating like that stuff, you're going to start losing some of what makes manga and anime what it is. And so it's more of a personal preference, and I don't really need it, but I'm not going to start telling Japan they need to take that shit out. Like No Game, No Life, which was a super successful manga and a super successful anime, got the cancellation treatment because people were uncomfortable with the main girl protagonist because she was in that zone. And so it's weird. I don't get, like, Australia is actually like banning that as kiddie materials because the design of the protagonist just doesn't, suit what they think is appropriate. It's a fine line. I get that. But I don't know. I don't like the idea of censoring Japanese creators, which is what a lot of the
I'm somewhere in the
people are trying to
middle.
do.
Like, we're not talking about cuties here, right? These aren't real people. They're fucking drawings. I'm sorry. Like, they're fucking drawings. I don't like it. And I mean, I'm watching anime. Okay. There may be some risque elements, but like, I'm not going in for the weird shit that happens in like your Ninja Scroll and everything else. I generally skip those scenes or look away because it's kind of weird and uncomfortable, especially if you're watching it with people. So
Yeah, Davina, G.I. Joe and Transformers were from Sunbow, which is Sunbow, which was a contracted animator for Marvel Studios at the time for Hasbro. It's like Hasbro contracted to Marvel TV, who contracted to a Japanese animator to make G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, and Transformers. Awesome one
Eric,
says,
I believe. Oh, you go ahead.
Lolly wasn't a problem until the blue hair land whales got into anime. I think no. So this is where I'll disagree a little bit. I think there were people who would say, at least in the when I would talk to friends who watched anime, we didn't go and like protest online and try to get people canceled, but we did say, I probably don't need that. I don't.
I mean, I generally vote with my wallet. If there's a lot of that in a show and I find it to be too much, I just don't watch the show.
I mean, there's like in Gate, which is an anime I really like. They have Rory Mercury, who is definitely designed to fit that aesthetic. But the way they get around it, as they do in a lot of
brings
anime,
up a good point too. Like, have you seen Eastern women? They're not generally stacked. Okay, that's kind of a rarity in their world.
Yeah, that is one of the things that is funny in anime, in terms of standard tropes, is the idea that they constantly make fun of the flat-chested girl for being flat-chested.
Yeah,
so they should.
Which they don't do.
Ostracize them.
That stuff should not be allowed.
They won't do that in American.
But
stuff.
to answer Eric's question, age restrictions. I think in Japan the age of consent is 16. So there's a bit of a disconnect there where a lot of people are like, she's only 16, and it's like that's I mean, that's their culture.
In the UK, 16.
Yeah, like it may be weird, but like it's not uncommon for those kind of relationships among teenagers of that age.
Well, there's
Japan,
also a thing that we don't talk about a lot, which is Japan's education system shunts people out at middle school. Like, if you don't test into
that's right. You have to test to even go to high school.
You have to test to even go to high school, and if you don't, you immediately go to a vocational school and start effectively working. You're basically
like at a gas station or something.
You're doing an apprenticeship program where you're learning to be a drone worker.
Yeah, you're gonna be labor.
Test out. This is why on the political thing, when people are like, our test scores are so below like Japan or the rest of the world, is like, we test 100% of our high school kids. They test only the people who, like, only the top like 40% of middle schoolers go on to high school. And
their high school is the equivalent of getting into a good college here.
Exactly. So,
and then they have to do it again to get into college.
Yeah, then they have to apply to college. So it's a little bit different. It'd be like, all right, how's our top 20% compared to their whole high school? Because that's effectively what it is. And we're doing
on top of all that, where here being in clubs and after school activities is looked at in a good way. It's not really mandatory. It is over there.
Is.
You will join a club.
And schools are basically run by students. Like, when they talk about like student councils and committees, like the teachers kind of effectively let being a student council president in Japan,
as a student in
totally
Japan,
different.
You are expected to take ownership of the school. Like, they don't have janitors. The kids are supposed to clean up the fucking school. Like,
and
I actually like a lot of the ways they do the school system there that I think we should adopt, just to teach our kids some fucking responsibility.
Let's see. Bride of Slender says the age of consent, she said it was 14 and they changed it to 16. And then she corrected that it was actually 13 and they changed it to 16.
But that's a recent thing.
That's a recent thing.
which is like even weirder. But like, I mean,
I also
again,
think people tend to forget with Japan, it was still a medieval state.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
300 years ago.
I mean, to this day, there's still arranged marriages happening sometimes.
Really 150
really,
years ago,
it was post Civil War when America finally got in and modern. I mean, Last Samurai took a lot of liberties, but that era is where Japan, by the order of the emperor, forced
which Persona.
What is it? Persona 5 was the one you played, right?
Oh, it's so good. So good. I want to do a full playthrough on Ascendant Arcade, but it's not really an October thing, so I'm holding off. And plus, I gotta make sure I can stream it without getting copyright claims and such, because there are some restrictions on streaming for that.
Oh, the Japanese game studios are so ridiculous about the way they
but I think they recently opened it up and you're pretty much free to stream all of Persona 5. I gotta double check some things, but oh, it's so good. I liked it so much. I played all of Persona 5. I beat the game. I loved it. Then Persona 5 Royal came out and I did it again. I bought Royal and I beat it again.
Shifty coming in that the worst schools in Japan are the ones that let classes take field trips to deserted islands and battle to death.
Hell yeah.
The first time I saw Battle Royale, it was so new and different. I was like, oh, what is everyone's like? I had friends who were like, Battle Royale. So like it was like this cult thing. And I had to get the DVD because I was like, what is this? What are they talking about? Then I watched it. I was like, holy shit. This thing, this is ridiculous. And then of course you watch Kill Bill and you see that Tarantino is trying to rip off the whole aesthetic from it. So Battle Royale is great. If you haven't watched it, high recommend on that one.
Dude, Davina, my character was top of the class and worked like 4 after school jobs. You got to maximize that time off.
She's saying 3 through 5.
And was dating his doctor, so.
I got to drop, guys, unfortunately, but that was an education on anime. Thank you.
I'm sorry if we bored you. 70s.
No, not at all. I loved hearing about them. It's fascinating stuff because I don't watch a lot of anime, all live action. I watch all of the Asian stuff, but it's all live action. So
I mean, if you're in,
to get into it.
Yeah, if you enjoy like a lot of live action is taking a lot of cues from the anime because it's goes back and forth.
Well, virtually every Korean show I watch, or 80% of them, are based on an anime or a manga or
manhwa. I think the Korean ones are called the manhwas. Is that what they call the Korean ones?
A couple of terms for them, but that's one of them. Yeah.
They always have different names. Like in Korea, a dojo is called a dojang. I believe
the same thing, but a different name slightly.
But they just call it something else because they're like, we're different.
Nah,
there you are.
Big Japanese influencer, much as they would hate to admit it because they hate what the Japanese did to them. But
well, anyway, I mean, Japan, night, China, guys. And Korea, they all hate each other. So
see
ya.
Cheers.
Well, that was it was like Korea and Japan influence each other a ton, but they don't like each other, so they don't want to acknowledge it very much.
Correct.
It's just a weird cycle. I mean, which is, I mean, it's some of the best anime in the last couple seasons have been adaptations of Korean mangas, like Solo Leveling.
Well, and China's starting to throw their hat in the ring with Demon Lord at high school or some crap. I forget what the hell it's called.
I just wish Bandai would pull their head out of their ass.
They won't.
No, they won't. I mean, because there's still a literal fuck ton of Gundam manga that hasn't been turned into anime, and some of it people have been asking for decades, and they're like, "Oh, here's another alternate universe for you guys." Like, could you fuck off already?
Who asked for this? Oh, no one.
No one. Yeah. And it's the same thing that's going on with Gunpla too. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, guys, what are you doing?
They're doing
Why
what
do
they
you keep
do.
reprinting the kits that everybody already owns.
It's
all you've reprinted for the past 3 years.
On the plus side for you and your mecha habit, as long as Gunpla keeps selling, there's going to be new new Gundam shows.
Yeah, well,
because they have to keep feeding those new model sources.
Problem is I don't know what's going on with them because before COVID, we were supposed to get a movie. COVID delayed it. We finally got it. That was the first Hathaway's Flash movie. The second one, and that was 3, almost 4 years ago, and there hasn't been anything about the sequel because it's supposed to be a trilogy of movies. But yet they found time to animate a whole season of an alternate universe, actually 2 seasons. And I didn't even bother watching it because saw parts of the first season and went, oh, why the fuck is this a slice of life anime? It's Gundam. That's not how this works.
Are you talking about
Eric, I'm pretty sure there are
Yeah.
mecha books. Yeah, I think there's manga for those.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of it.
You know, it's funny, Imp. I told Slender that he would probably like The Witch from Mercury because it was mostly slice of life with.
Oh, the first
Gundam.
season is. The second one, from what I've heard, it goes full on Gundam.
Oh no, I mean, but man, if you watch the episode 0,
Yeah,
Witch from
my
Mercury,
boss, he's also
that
into
one
Gundams.
is like
He
that.
said that one. He's like, no, you should at least watch that. He's like, that was pretty fucked up.
That one is like for people who are long-term Gundam fans, that is
standard.
That is the Gundam. Like that's what you expect from Gundam. Like war is shit. Everyone dies. you're gonna, nothing is happy. If you're happy for a moment, something bad's gonna happen. It's like Gundam is not for the happy. We're only giving you this
happy moment so that we can hurt you.
That
Just
is
remember
Gundam.
that.
I mean, am I wrong? Isn't that Gundam summed up?
No, yeah, Gundam's dark as shit.
Yeah, if you have a happy moment, it's to just make what's going to happen.
I assume as much because freaking Imp likes it, and Imp doesn't like things that aren't dark as shit.
No, that's not true.
Oh, isn't it?
No, it's not. I like dark things, but that's not all I like.
Are there mecha books? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, like I said, there's a ton of just for the longest time, certain series that ran in the 70s, like Mazinger or Getter Robo, they still kept going, just in manga.
So there's also with Japanese content, in addition to manga, there's usually what's called light novels.
That's what the Hathaway's Flash movies based off of.
Yeah, which are.
What about is Code Geass a giant robot thing?
Yeah, I just don't like the art style. The mechs are cool, but the overall.
I mind the art.
I'm not a fan of Studio Clamp.
What other one? What's the one that came out like 2-3 seasons ago where it was like pilot? It was like a Top Gun-ish pilot thing, but then they had to fight off the alien invaders. It was a mech show. I'll figure it out. But that was a good one. That was like standardized kind of mech thing. There is like a missing sweet spot for the mech anime. I do miss it. There could be more. I mean, a lot of times now they do kind of hybrid ones like we just talked about, where even Gundam was getting with Witch from Mercury, where it was a Gundam mecha show, but it was still like to sell it, they had to do the slice of life. They don't.
Life. That's not what people expect out of Gundam.
I mean, Iron Blood Orphans was good. They should have done stuff like that. Like, I thought Iron Blood Orphans was really successful, right?
Yeah and no. The problem they ran into with that was the actual gunpla kits were shit. They're terrible. And yeah, the anime did okay. I mean, it got 2 full seasons. It's just
that was the one with the Unicorn Gundam, right?
No, that Unicorn Gundam was Unicorn Gundam.
Unicorn, yeah.
Unicorn was good. Unicorn was very good, even though it was something they kind of tacked into the Universal Century. Same with Narrative Gundam, which is also.
I want a Unicorn Gundam. That sounds kick ass.
Look it up and see what it looks like.
I mean, I don't want to sound gay or nothing, but Unicorn.
No, the Unicorn Gundam is actually a very cool design. There's actually 3 different ones. There's the Unicorn, the Banshee, and then the Phoenix.
I mean, it's
they all look slightly different and they're all different colors. You just don't bother trying to ever find a model kit for the Phoenix because you're spending a minimum for a good one. Minimum $70 for a high grade, and other than that, probably about 200 because unless it comes into plated gold, you're going to want to paint it. And when they plate parts, it gets expensive.
I prefer, and this is where I get would get looked down on. I just buy the $20 Bandai toys that are actually pretty good quality and display.
Oh no, they are.
Nicely.
I know which ones you're talking about. We've talked about it before. Those aren't bad. It's just I like the act of actually building them.
Yeah, they display very nicely.
If I got into it, I'd wanna build and paint the model.
A buddy of mine, you guys see how Mythbusters did that one episode on building a gunpla?
Yeah, I did. So here's a good question.
It wasn't Mythbusters, but it's the guy from Mythbusters.
Yeah, it's
my buddy
Adam,
right now is
Adam,
building
whatever
that
his
kit.
name is.
He's building the same exact kit. I actually have it sitting in my backlog. He was telling me the other day it took him 3.5 hours just to build the inner frame for the leg.
Oh,
that's how detailed it is.
Yeah.
That's how intricate that one kit is.
Soul Assassin asks, how many Gunpla kits do you own him?
Well, let's just say it's in the high double digits, pushing triple that are built, and high double digits in unbuilt.
That is impressive.
Well, getting those stimulus checks and so on and so forth, kind of helps with a hobby when you can't do much of anything else.
I mean, if you're locked in your place and can't go anywhere.
That's actually the reason why I got back into it. My buddy, the same guy I just mentioned, building the perfect grade. He's the one who got me into it originally back in the late 90s. And he decided out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, I kind of feel like, building this kit again, because he bought one of the high-end kits and in moving and such, it kind of got destroyed. And he's like, oh, I was thinking about doing it again. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I started looking into seeing how far things have come. And from when I did it in the late 90s, they've came a long way in just how they've engineered these kits. So it's
they try so hard and got so far.
No, well, because you can tell because there's different lines of kits, and most of it's based around how complicated they are to put together. Not that any of them are really complicated.
Yeah, but in the end, it doesn't really matter.
In the end. Oh, it's Slender. Oh, people could theoretically use 3D printers to make their own Gunpla toys. I'm pretty sure they do.
They do. Because there's certain things that Bandai just refuses.
Thank you, Eric Myers. Somebody picked up on it.
Oh, I picked up on it. I just wasn't going to acknowledge it.
I had to fall to lose it all.
But that's honestly why I did get back into building Gunpla. During the pandemic, where I worked, my job life didn't change at all. And then I gamed or built Gunpla because that's all I could really do. So it is what it is. Everyone's got to have a hobby.
Things happen.
Yep. All right. I think we've done a pretty good show. It was fun. I think covering anime is a nice thing to do every now and then because we're all into it, and it seems like chat is secretly into it too. And some people want to be into it, but need gateway drugs. So we gave them some good anime to get into. Imp, where are you going to be in the next little bit?
Monday, I will be on 70s show. We're talking about the movie Dark Star, which I could have sworn we did before, but evidently we just talked about doing it and we shifted it. We bumped it for something else. And then Tuesday on Brahma's channel, Gaming with Brahma, probably hunting ghosts.
I know.
And of course, you'll catch me on the various clips. And I know for a fact Slender's got a few of me making an ass out of myself while we're hunting ghosts.
Oh, I'm putting together a supercut.
Because he's got all of us making an ass out of ourselves.
I just keep getting killed when Slender gets the ghost pissed off, and it's crazy. I don't know why.
I just went
getting that crucifix in the van, Chad.
Yeah. I just pulled the clip of I wish to leave.
There it is.
It was fun.
Yeah. And Slender, what's coming up on Ascendant Arcade?
Probably a lot more of the same. Some Phasmophobia. It looks like this probably tomorrow will be live streaming Fear, which is the acronym First Encounter Assault Recon. Back before horror games became walking simulators, Sierra made a pretty kick-ass little horror game where you actually had a gun and still had to do some fighting, and there was gameplay involved, but it was fucking horrifying. So we're probably gonna play that tomorrow.
Nice. And for everyone in chat, Ascendant Arcade is the gaming offshoot of the Ascendant Art podcast that is mainly run by Slender so that he can put nice gaming content up, do gaming streams. We generally are hanging out as a group, or he's doing some great solo playthroughs. So if you haven't already subbed to that channel, it's really awesome. He puts up content pretty regular. If not every few days. We got, I don't think we've missed that window lately. So
Eric, I'll make sure that I set it up good and early so you get a notification, but I'm looking to probably start around 8 or 9 Eastern. But I'll make sure I set up the stream like early so that there's plenty of time for those notifications to go out.
Yeah, I probably typed too fast, and I don't know. I don't look at the Rumble enough to notice that. I'll go fix it. Thanks to me. It's like I set up a Rumble and was just on the typing thing, so I will fix that as we go. All right, awesome, good stream. Thanks for Mad for showing up for as long as he could put through and put himself through it. Thanks for 70s for joining a little bit later in the stream and being exposed to things. I don't know how confident I am that he didn't duck out after some Bible Black finished downloading.
And we will never see him again. He's like, those people are fucking nope. I want nothing to do with. There's something wrong with those people.
That's choice A. Choice B is I will never see him again because he just keeps downloading more.
Just got lost in the sauce.
Yep. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Slender, whenever you want to do your thing, I think we've said our goodbyes.
What thing are you talking about?
You've already hit the button.